McGowan, is it? Yeah. So we're nearly ready to go here at Woodville Oval for this clash. Not a real big crowd, probably around the 1,500 mark here this afternoon, but it's a beautiful day. So if you're listening, you're close by, come down, because you'll see a good clash between one side that's 8th, the other that's 3rd, but I'm sure it'll be a fairly close contest as we're nearly ready to go.
A couple of good matchups, Laurie.
Yeah, Pace is shaking hands with Stevens.
Yeah, and Andrew Rogers up against Hicks at centre-half forward, and it'll be a very good duel there.
Young Hicks been in very good form in recent times for Centrals, but here we go. Start of this clash. Round 15 in the SANFL, and there goes the bounce. And it's Arnold in ruck. Gets the first hit out of the afternoon. Sawell's over and over the football, tries to get it out. Here's a chance now for Central District's Gurdon, but it's McGowan who gets a hand pass over towards Cotter. Cotter will go over in turn to his teammate Steinburner. Steinburner left half forward, gets onto the left foot, kicks up inside the 50-metre zone, looking there for his teammate and finds him in Cotton. Cotton tears off, kicks towards goal, looks good off the boot, but it's through from behind. So opening seconds on the West End time clock. The 7-save scoreboard tells us that Central Districts have the opening score of the afternoon, 1 point. And Woodville West Torrens yet to score, DB.
Yes, and quick movement there by the Centrals boys.
Yeah, well, they're good hands out wide, and they do use the ball very well, Centrals, and they've got some good firepower up forward with Conway and, of course, Cotton. So the Eagles going to be in trouble. Right,
the kick out by the Eagles is on the defensive 50 now, taken by Rogers. Rogers goes up to centre wing. Up in front, looks like a mark to the Eagles, and it'll be Kluzak.
Yes.
To take the free kick. The umpire said the opponent was over the shoulder. Kluzak will come into the centre. Marty Dillon is there all by himself, and he'll take the footy, advances to the centre circle and kicks up towards the 50. Looking out there for his teammate there in Redwell. Couldn't take the mark. The ball on the bottom of the pack. Here's a chance though for the Dogs. McGowan with a handball to Herrera to Holm, and Daniel Holm will bring the ball towards centre wing. Stevens is there by himself. Takes the mark. Will he get the handball over? He should have, because it was a beautiful smother by the Eagles player there, and as he puts the ball up towards the full forward area, but it's all the Dogs there, and taking the mark is Arnold, and Arnold now gives it over to Stephen Schwert. Schwert will go to the outer side of the ground. Beautiful kick looking for Conway, and Conway takes the mark at centre wing. Big Mark Conway back from the Port Power. Usually been playing at centre half back, but at centre half forward today as he goes bang with the left foot up towards full forward. Up they fly. The ball thumped away from behind. Off the hands of the pack. It's almost gathered in by the Dogs. In fact, it is. It comes out to Steinburner. Steinburner will go across ground here to Stevens. There's no one within two of him. Even if he doesn't take the mark, he can grab the ball steady and fire it towards goal, but he's offline. In fact, the pressure by the Eagles player there was pretty good. And just trying to pick up that player.
Yeah, Mark Devine.
Mark Devine, and his pressure just put Stevens off. That gentleman that's been following me around from Poland is here again today, and I have to just go to the right-hand side of him.
So 2 behind Centrals, and the Eagles yet to score. 2 minutes played on the West End time clock as Stephen Hall, in his second season with the Eagles, kicks short into the right back pocket, finds his skipper Rogers, who gives in turn to Hall. The Eagles under pressure here. Colville gets it back to Rogers. Rogers to Pays, back after a few weeks off through injury. A long sweeping hand pass finds Devine. Devine on the left foot, kicks up towards half-back left. Looking there for McClure, who marks in front of Lee of Central Districts. Now McClure wearing the long sleeves this afternoon. Chips towards the Percy Fox grandstand side. Nice ball there from Matthews. The ball comes to ground. Fighting Herrera's got it. Chips off the right foot up towards half forward. Higgins nearly takes the mark. It went over the head of McClure also. Lee's got the footy now, tackled by Higgins. Higgins traps the ball, tries to bring it back in under his possession, and will have a bounce down half forward right towards the southern end of the Woodville Oval.
I'm just trying to work out, Scotty Stevens got free there a few times in the last few passages of play, though. I think they might have swapped wings, and he actually caught him undone as they were swapping.
So here comes the bounce down. Umpires this afternoon, Inge, Humphreys and Ryan. It's Inge on this occasion, bounces the ball. Pays tackled without the football. Here's a chance now for Sawell, running through the half-forward right position. Kicks the ball long up towards the goal square. Dropping back is Rogers. Can he take the mark? Over the top, a great mark taken there by Hicks. And as Steve Jackby mentioned earlier, a good matchup, Hicks and Rogers, and Hicks getting some early credits there, Steve.
Well, a very good player. He had to sit on there, and Rogers got the front position, but a lovely mark there by Damien Hicks, and with only about 2 or 3 metres out, should go and put the first major on the board for Centrals.
So here comes the kick from Damien Hicks. Lines up. Just 45-degree angle, not far out. Here comes the kick, looks good off the boot, it's through. So Central Districts kick their opening goal of the afternoon. It's 1-2-8, the Eagles yet to score. Here's Peter Greco.
Yes, it's Carlton 6-1-37, trailing Melbourne 6-3-39, Collingwood 6-2.
4 minutes played down here, and it's Central's 8. The Eagles yet to score. The ball back in the centre of the ground, where Arnold will be up against Biglands. And the hands of Humphreys now clutch the Sharon as he's in the centre of Woodville Oval. The ground in great condition. Here comes the bounce. Not a bad one. It favours Arnold, but it's knocked down by Dillon. He gets a kick forward up towards the direction of Matthews. He gets hand on the football, taken by Sheldrick. He's tackled by Herrera, nearly holding the ball. Off to Higgins. Higgins drives in long up towards the forward zone. Over the top, Filippo knocks the ball back into play. Rintoul's a chance to pick up. Taken by Daniel. The ball's in the right forward pocket. Knocked towards the boundary line there by, I think it was Steinburner. The ball coming over the line and out of play, just below the sip and save scoreboard. Central's 8, the Eagles yet to score.
I don't know if that's spoiled by Sam Filippo's intentional, but it worked out quite well because it came right back in the middle of the goal
back into play, yeah.
Yeah, I thought he did try to tap it back into the square, which was very clever thinking as the boundary umpire pat to put the ball back into play. Up they fly, Bigland with a tap, but it goes straight back towards the boundary line, and it'll result in another throw-in. Just around from the scoreboard, the sip and save scoreboard. Central's 1-2-8, the Eagles yet to score. The boundary umpire about to set things in motion once again. Biglands and Arnold do battle. Up they go. Biglands make front position. The ball comes to ground. Here's a chance here for Sheldrick. He picked up the footy, but they picked him up as well. The umpire is letting it go at the moment as it pushed towards the boundary line, and yet another throw in the exact same position. So this will be the third one inside a minute. And just alongside the sip and save scoreboard. Boundary umpire about to project the ball back into play, does so. Once again, Biglands and Arnold. Biglands got two hands of the ball, came down to Kluzak. A quick kick up towards full forward, beautifully thumped away from behind by the Central District defender. Chance for Daniel Holm if he can pick up the ball, can't do so. Goes to the ground with the ball underneath him. In fact, the Eagles player is also there, and we'll have a bounce down right on the 50, the attacking 50 for the Eagles. They're kicking to the northern end of the Woodville Oval. That's the club room end, and the umpire's about to bounce the ball on their attacking 50. Quite any number of players around the footy at the moment as down it goes. Once again, the two big guys are thumped away by Bigland, but beautifully gathered in here by Steinburner for the Dogs. Up towards centre wing, thumped away from behind there by the Eagles defenders. The ball comes to ground. Players are going in hard over the footy as it goes towards the boundary line, and once again, another boundary thrown. And Laurie Collins, see if he can get it away from that boundary.
Thanks very much. Right in front of the ring grip sign on the outer side. Central's 8 lead the Eagles North. 7 minutes played in this first quarter. Here comes the boundary throw-in. Conway doing battle with Spear, and it's Conway easily winning that one. The ball comes to ground. Spear's in there over the football once again. The kick the kick comes forward. Here's a chance now for Pays. Can't pick the footy up. Hassled there by Hicks. Hicks and Pays battling hard for the football. Also in there is Geister of Central Districts, and we'll have a bounce down just outside the attacking 50-metre zone, southern end of Woodville Oval.
Yeah, Laurie, just a quick note. It looks like Rintoul and Andrew Pays could be changing on a wing, changing onto the ball, so just keep an eye on that.
Interesting move as the ball comes out towards Spear. He's tackled there by Stevens. Hasn't quite picked the footy up. Might have got a shove in the back from Saywell, but the umpire says no. He'll have it, and we'll have a bounce down just directly out from the southern end goal.
And just to counter that, now they look like they've put out, Centrals have put Holm out onto the wing, and so he becomes loose now, so one of the Eagles players is going to have to pick him up.
Yeah, Rintoul just motioning to one of his men to do that, but Rogers comes over in this bounce down. Colville's in there working hard. The ball nearly came out from Geister, and he's still on his own out there. Rintoul needs to either be up or back, and what's he going to do? But we'll have another bounce anyhow. 45 out from the southern end goal. Steve?
No, I'm just saying that the runner's going out from the Eagles now, so he may get them back there.
Conway won the ruck. The ball comes to Girdham. Girdham looks to give up to his teammate, but it's taken by Rintoul. Rintoul under all sorts of pressure. The ball comes towards Cotton. The ball comes to ground. Hicks in there battling hard, as is Rogers of the Eagles. And we'll have another bounce. So some scrappy play here in the opening minutes of this first term, brought to you by Cowley's Bakery, Sip and Save and West End. And we'll have another bounce down 35 metres out.
Yeah, just a very scrambly football, as Laurie Colliver said at the moment. The umpire's not bouncing the ball all that well either, as the ball is tapped forward here by Conway. Chance for McGowan if he can get it around the body on the left boot. He does, but he's hooked it too far. And through for the minor score to the Doggies. They move along to 1-3. That's 9 to the Eagles yet to score on the Sip and Save scoreboard. Just at the moment, both sides applying the pressure, Detto, and the other side not able to get away with the footy.
Yeah, both sides are really putting the pressure on, but no one can sort of get an ascendancy at this stage.
Right, Hall brings the ball back to Higgins. Higgins with a handball over the top to Page. Page goes back here towards Pearce. Pearce with a wide handball to Rogers, almost put him under the hammer. Chance though for Colville to pick up the ball and kick it around the centre wing on the outer side of the ground. At the back is Biglan's in front though.
Must
looks like Arnold. And Arnold has been paid the mark. He goes in towards the centre, almost intercepted by Lambert, off hands to McGowan. McGowan got one high. The umpire saw it, and he's paid the advantage rule as it comes here to Saywell. Saywell goes up towards full forward. Up in front was Lewis, thumped away from behind. Here's a chance, though, as it comes to Devine. Devine's Bradley goes to the ground. The ball underneath players as they try to get it out. The umpire's calling play on.
Tackled high,
Eagles player hung high. He was grabbed high. He probably is hung high, but umpire's paid the free kick, and Devine will relieve the pressure. Goes across goal, and Rogers has created the space there. He'll bring the ball now to the grandstand side. Does so with a pass. He's looking there for McClure, but good mark, Scotty Lee. He was just a little bit too strong on that occasion.
The terrible kick by Rogers. He leads, so he's got to put the ball in front, not kick it back to where Scotty Lee's got the position held.
Lee now will go in towards the inside the 50 at the back, almost taken there by Conway. The chance to be kicked off the ground. Here it is. It's picked up by Cotton, in fact, and he's gone bang through for his second goal. No, his first goal, in fact, and the Eagles in trouble at the moment. They haven't scored, and the Bulldogs are 2 goals, 3-15.
And back to Peter Greco in the studio.
It's Sturt, 2 straight goals, 12, leading North Adelaide, 1 point. Norwood, 1-1-7, leading Port Adelaide. Back to Woodville.
Thanks very much, Peter. Central's 15 lead the Eagles naught at the moment here as the ball bounced in the centre of the ground. Biglan's in ruck. Taps it down nicely to Higgins. Higgins' kick is a poor one. Nearly marked there by Kluzak. The ball comes to ground. Daniels taps it back towards his teammate there in Cotter. The ball in dispute on the half-forward line. Taken by Sheldrick. Got legged as he tried to give up to Lambert. He eventually did so. Lambert kicks up towards the goal. We're looking for Filippo. The ball comes off hands and should be rushed through for a behind, as it's done so by Scotty Lee. So the Eagles get their opening score of the match. And what have we played on that time clock over there? We've played 12 minutes, and it's the Eagles 1 behind 1 point, trailing Central Districts 2-3-15 as the ball brought back into play. Marked there by Cotton, who's down from the forward line. He chips up towards the centre half forward region. Rogers is there. The ball hits him on the head. The ball rebounds towards Rintoul of the Eagles. He's got the footy now just in front of us here in the grandstand. Rintoul's kick goes over the head of Pays. Looking also for McClure. McClure keeps the ball in. Gives off to Pays. Pays chips in towards the attacking 50. The mark nearly taken by Filippo. Tries to recover. Here's a chance now for McGowan of Central Districts to mop up. Gives the hand pass back towards his teammate there in Schwert. Schwert kicks up towards centre wing, and it's marked by Devine at the second attempt. And a good bit of work there from the Eagles. Good forward movement, but defended quite well there by Centrals. Now Devine with the footy. 14 minutes played, West End time clock. The chip short. High kick it is over the head of Pays. Not a good result. Stevens tries to pick up. In there working hard to McClure. Also Cotton. The ball comes out. Here's a chance now for McGowan. He's got the footy. Gives it back towards Conway. The ball, in fact, it was Arnold. Kicked forward by Lee. It's been a scrappy opening here at the Woodville Oval. Lambert marks. Gives a hand pass towards Higgins under close pressure. The left foot kick from Higgins is a bit of a loose cannon into that forward pocket. And will go over the boundary line and out of play. So some shocking skills being displayed in the last minute or so.
Yeah, it's a comedy of errors, and some of it's been caused by pressure, but there's been an awful lot just been caused just through poor play, and the blokes really do have to mop that up.
And also a little bit of lack of talking there. Corey Lambert had no one telling him he was under the hammer there, Steve.
Here we go. Here comes the throw-in. Knocked down by, I think it was Arnold, towards Pays of the Eagles. He runs around Lee. Gets a left foot kick towards goal. Looks okay off the boo, but it's touched off hands by Geister. And through for a behind. So the Eagles having a bit of play in their forward area in the last 2 or 3 minutes. Move along to 2 behinds, 2 points. Central Districts 2-3-15.
Yes, and the ball to be brought back into play by Scotty Lee, who's often done this. In fact, he chips it over to Daniel. Daniel was the one that gave him the ball in the first place, and nobody checked Daniel, so Daniel takes the mark and then drives it to the outer side. Steinburner up in front, takes the mark, gets support here from Cotter. Cotter now on the left boot, up towards the half forward flank, tucked away by Rogers towards the boundary line, still in play, but now it goes over the line, and once again, a boundary throw-in. So Central's able to bring that ball away fairly easily from their defence, and it's almost up to their half-forward line. Between centre and half-forward, The boundary umpire about to throw the ball in on the outer side of the ground. There's the throw in. The big men up they fly. Conway's in there as well. It comes to Pearce. Pearce got the handball over now to Cluzak. Cluzak now for the Eagles goes up towards half forward. Players set themselves at the back. Schwert use the body. It's all the Bulldogs here back there as Scotty Lee leads in the race for the ball. A nice little handball over to Schwert. Schwert's got the run of the ball. He didn't want to pick it up. He tapped it towards the boundary line, and that's where it'll end up. Out of bounds on the outer side of the ground.
And the Eagles are playing ringer-rosie here. Now they've got Andrew Payes swapping with Cluzak to a three-way ruck-roving position here. Cluzak now on the ball, and Payes has gone to a half-forward flank.
So half-forward flank, outer side of the ground for the Eagles as big Arnold got the tap down, but it came straight to Cluzak. He couldn't get the kick away. Players in over the top of the footy once again, and we'll have a bounce down on the right half-forward flank, about 10 metres outside of the attacking 50 for the Eagles. Played 15 minutes. It's 15 minutes on that
yes, 15.
West End time clock. As the bounce goes down, Arnold went up before acceptances. The ball comes to ground players. They can't pick up the ball. McGowan's got it, tried to get the handball away. Picked up by Scotty Lee. Onto the left boot, up towards the centre wing position. Daniel Hong has taken a very good mark in front of his immediate opponent, and that was Devine. So Holm already a few touches, goes in short, looking for McGowan. McGowan, beautiful pick-up, and comes into towards the centre with his kick. He's found Cotton. Cotton over now to Schwert. Schwert in the centre, goes to the lead of Lewis. Lewis in front, beautifully thumped away by Hall. The ball comes to ground, taken again by Lewis. Oh, could have been holding the ball. He had it, dropped it, and picked it up again as the ball comes now to Lambert. Lambert now gets the ball away up towards the half-forward flank there in front of Scotty Lee. Oh, beautifully done. Lee gets the handball back out to Daniel. Daniel back to Lee, and the old 1-2. Scotty Lee will have a bounce at centre wing now, goes up towards the half-forward flank. Players set themselves, up from behind was Hicks, went straight to the ground though. In the chance does it, picked up by Saywell. Saywell comes across the ground. Opportunity here, Stevens has got it. He'll advance to the 50 with the left foot and goes banging towards goal. The ball's coming back beautifully, straight through the high diddle for a sausage roll. A Cowley special on the board for the Doggies. 3 goals, 3-21. The Eagles 2 behind.
I think Bruce Winter's going to be very disappointed at the amount of times the Eagles have had it up into their 50 or just outside of 50, and they can't convert. But to Central's credit, they're getting the ball out of defence with relative ease at this stage, and then they go straight down and get a goal. With Scotty Stevens, though, I think, Steve, with all this ring-a-rosie, a bloke with his fitness, they're not going to be able to come back onto the wing for a rest, though, because he's going to make them pay all day.
Exactly. We'll get some scores shortly, the next break in play. So Central's 21, leave the Eagles 2. Here comes the ball in the centre of the ground once again. Biglands wins this one. McClure charges through. Lambert will mop up. Here's a chance for an attacking foray by the Eagles. The kick is wide of Filippo. Chasing him is Geister in the right forward pocket. Filippo keeps the ball back in play. Back it goes to Higgins, who gets crunched. But the umpire said it had already gone over the boundary line right in front of the Blackpool funeral sign. There'll be a boundary throw-in on the, well, it's about 25 metres out from the northern end goal. The Eagles trail by 19 points. Here comes the boundary throw. Biglands and Arnold. Over the top came Harada. The ball comes towards Daniel. Daniel in turn gives up towards Schwert. Schwert on that left foot kicks towards the centre of the ground. Here's a chance for Gurdon. The ball comes to ground. Rintoul's in there. Kick off the ground by Stevens, who'll pick the football up. Centre wing grandstand side. Gets a right foot kick up towards the half-forward right position. Ball there by Pearce. Good work by that player. The ball comes to ground once again. Here's a chance now for Saywell. Gets onto that left foot. Chips up towards half-forward. Taken by Hicks. He can play on. Nearly tackled by Pearce. The kick forward is a good one. And finds Lures inside 50. Not much Hall to do about that. And some good forward movement by the Doggies.
A good play by Central's all down the ground. They've got numbers to the ball, and I'm very, very impressed with the way Lewis leads hard for the ball, but good play up the ground also by James Saywell.
Lewis from 35. Kicks. No good at all. That kick, disappointing result for Simon Lewis. Through from behind. So Central's on the sip and save scoreboard. 3 goals, 4-22. The Eagles 2 behind, 2 points. Some danger signs for the Eagles in this first quarter.
Big danger signs.
Here comes the kick in, and it's marked out there by Pearce. Nice kick from Hall, but Pearce's kick is a shocker, and it smashes into the sign out there on the full, and the ball will be brought back into play.
Yes, and Steinberner goes in short. He's got a player loose across the half-forward flank, and Roger Gurdon, I think that's the first time I've called him this afternoon. Gurdon takes the mark, goes in towards the lead of Lewis again. He's out a mile in front, and takes the grab about 40 metres out directly in front. Gee whiz, whoever made that comment about his leading was spot on. He was a mile in front of his opponent then.
Yeah, and Stephen Hall's his opponent, who's a very good fullback, Ditto, and you've seen him a bit more than what I have, but he's very quick, and a couple of times earlier he did punch away nicely, but Lewis has just escaped twice now.
And it's uncharacteristic for Hawley too, because he normally is right on his full forward, and he doesn't give him much room. He normally stands in front.
So Lewis Yeah, he popped it through for the Aussie Droll with the advantage of the other one that he missed. He sized up the breeze nicely, popped it through for his second goal.
Oh, no, in fact, it's his first. Sorry, Dennis.
First goal. The other's going to Hicks, Cotton and Stevens. And the Bulldogs move along to 4 goals, 4. That's 28. The Eagles just 2 behind, and I think they're in a bit of froth and bubble.
And it's back to Peter Greco just quickly for some scores.
Sturt, 3 straight 18, leading North Adelaide 2 points. Port and Ord 1-1, 7 points apiece. Brisbane 11-6, 72, leading the Western Bulldogs 5-3, 33. Collingwood 9-4, 58, leading Fremantle 5-4, 34. And Melbourne 9-5, 59, leading Carlton 8-1, 49. Back to Woodville.
Thanks very much, Peter. The ball up towards half forward left for the Eagles in the area there of Pays and also Cotter of Central Districts. And it's over the boundary line and out of play.
Now, was that deliberate, boys?
No, no, I think he just faked it a bit.
Faked it a bit.
Yeah, but
Big word, that was
Nice fake. Nice fake.
Some acting going on up here and also out on the ground. But anyhow, Bigland's in the ruck. Knocks it down, looking there for Lambert. He knocks the ball towards Rintoul. No possession gain, but the kick forward there by Higgins. Over the head of Filippo. He just put the one hand up. Maybe should have gone with the 2. Daniel with the football now. Gives it off to Herrera. Herrera dodges around an Eagles opponent. Oh, good smother there by McClure. Here's a chance for Matthews. Kick a goal, son. Can he do it? It's on the way. I think it's there. The opening goal of the match to the Eagles. A costly turnover by Herrera. Sees Matthews chip in. Kicked a couple of goals last week, and he's kicked the Eagles' first goal of the afternoon. The Eagles 1-2-8, trail Centrals 4-4-28.
Good pressure there, Dado, by the James McClure there. Put the smother on, and Herrera, who's a very experienced player, doesn't see too many errors come off his boot very often.
Well, they created the turnover and got a goal out of it. I was about to say before that they could probably hope for the siren to go so they could have a chance to regroup. But now that they have got one on the board, they'll only grow in confidence. And Marty Dillon, Steve pointing out, has gone on to Scotty Stevens on this grandstand wing now.
Okay, so we've played 21 minutes in this first quarter on the West End time clock. It's 20 points the difference. Here comes the bounce down. Bigland's in ruck, wins that tap on that occasion. Through charges Dillon of the Eagles. The kick will just land inside the attacking 50. Sheldrick takes a good mark. A beautiful mark by the big fellow, charging back. And he'll have a shot on goal from probably 55 metres out. He's marked just inside the 50, and he'll have an opportunity. Will the red-headed centre-half forward?
Did he know a bit about him? Can he kick this from here?
Well, a
couple
of weeks ago when we had the Eagles down the bay, I think it was, I was calling him shotgun, and he didn't miss too many there. But
here comes the kick. Looks good off the boot. A powerful looking kick. Will it make that distance? I think it's there. It's a goal. Jetto's called it right, so the Eagles bounce back. Central's kicking the first 4 goals, and the Eagles have just kicked the last 2 in the space of about 30 seconds. So it's now the Eagles 2 goals, 2-14, trailing the Dogs. 4-4-28, the margin back to 14 points, 22 minutes played on the West End time clock.
Well, as we saw a few weeks ago, they can come back like they did against Sturt, but they've got to be within touch of a better side like Central's did. They just can't let them get away.
Well, isn't it a funny game, football? It looked like Central's had really control of this first quarter, and then bang, the Eagles hit back, so that's football for you.
Certainly is. I remember saying they're in a bit of froth and bubble. They've come up blowing bubbles at the moment as the bounce goes down. Arnold with a tap over the shoulder comes to say, well, he gets a hurried kick away. Not a good kick off. Clever play there by Gurdon. Tapped it out here to his teammate in Steinburn. He's going to go to the ground with the ball underneath him. Gets the tap away, though. Oh, no, he hasn't, or has he? No, Big Arnold's in there, picks it up. He's almost throws the ball away. Comes back to Gurdon. Gurdon to Saywell. Saywell's got a player loose outside 50. Looks like Big Daniel Holm. And Holm will take the mark. Just outside of 50. In fact, I think he would have got the kick anyway. They played an FAD as it was, but it didn't matter as Holm goes across. Stevens once again created the space, improving a damaging player this afternoon. As Stevens goes in short, once again, it's Holm who's created the space, and bad checking there by the Eagles. Corey Lambert then let Holm get the kick away, and then after Stevens took it, he let Holm just drift into the space. And he'll kick for goal only about 30 metres out.
Yeah, DB, a bit stiff there for Marty Dillon, who's on Stevens. He had 2 players there he had to check, and he was caught. He's like tennis net there, caught between 2 of them. So it's not Marty's fault there. Someone else has got to get back and help him out.
Yes, I can't really comment. Never been caught between 2 of them, but
yeah, good on that.
We'll wait on Big Daniel Holm to have a shot for goal. 30 metres out.
It's sensational.
Oh, goodness me.
That about you, Jack. There's the kick. It looked pretty good. Right through the high diddle for a sausage roll to the Bulldogs. 5 goals, 4-34 on the Sip and Save scoreboard. The Eagles 2-2-14.
And back to Peter Greco just quickly.
Half-time, it's Collingwood 9-4, 58, leading Fremantle 5-4, 34. Brisbane 11-6, 72, leading the Western Bulldogs 5-4, 34. Melbourne 11-6-72, leading Carlton 10-3-63. Port 3-4-22, leading Norwood 1-2-8. And Sturt 4 straight 24, leading North 2-3-15. Back to Woodville.
Thanks very much, Peter. The margin back out to 20 points as we approach the closing minutes of this first quarter. 25 minutes played on the West End time clock. And the Sip and Save scoreboard tells us that it's the Centrals 34, the Eagles 14. Now, Biglands wins the ruck tap on this occasion. Here's a chance now for McClure. Gives it off to Biglands. In turn to Rintoul. We haven't seen a lot of this player in the first quarter. He's kicked over, he's spot on, and it finds young Matthews left half forward in front of Schwert. Now, Matthews goes long. Up there looking for Philippou. Bit of hanging on there. The ball comes over the back to Dillon. Dillon to Rintoul, who kicks a goal. He's just snuck it in. The kick only had to go 4 metres, and I think it went about 5, but it's through for a goal. So a quick reply to the Centrals goal a few moments ago. The Eagles 3-2-20. Rintoul kicks his first. Centrals 5-4-34.
Yeah, great play by Chad Rintoul. Then the first position was here on the wing, right in front of us here in the coaches' boxes. Ran right down, and like that's probably 100 metres dead, and that's the way to fire up the ball. The ball was superbly done there.
Exactly right, Jack, and also the handball from Marty Dillon. Marty could have tried to swing around and go his own way, and unselfishly gave the first one and hit Chad Rintoul straight on the chest for a little dribble through goal.
So 14 points the difference. A dribble. Yeah.
Bit of a dribble.
As long as we don't dribble up here, that's the main thing, is it's 14 points the difference. 5-4 plays 3-2. Nice bounce in the centre. Knocked down by Arnold. Charging through his Cotton. He has the football. Outer side centre wing. Kicks up towards left half forward. A nice mark taken there by Chambers. So Chambers, too far out to score, will go long, looking there for Lures. With him is Hall, dropping back to Vine. The fist comes from Hall, mopped up by Sowell. Should kick a goal, he does. A beautiful kick from James Sowell, and it's raining goals here in this first quarter at the Woodville Oval. Sowell, his first goal. Central 6-4-40, lead the Eagles 3-2-20. 20 points the difference on the Sip and Save scoreboard.
Stephen Hall a little bit unlucky again. He was right with his opponent that time. Spoiled the ball, but he hit Sowell right on the chest with it.
Yeah, but Ditto, Mark Devine is standing Sowell. I was watching him. Sowell was propped and stood at the front of the pack, and Devine was not standing right next to him. And surely, as a defender, you've got to be right on your man. Sowell was virtually uncontested there.
Well, the defenders a few years ago, you saw, I don't know about today. Huh?
Yeah, good point there, Ian.
Let's go back to the old days, eh?
Right, the umpire with the footy, and 6 individual goal scorers for the Dogs, so plenty of strike power up forward as the bounce goes down. Here's a chance for Lambert. He picks up the footy. Can they reply again as quickly as they did last time? Up towards the full forward area, over the head of the pack, though. It's all the Doggies. Picked up by Cotter. Cotter with a handball over the top. He tried to find his teammate there in Geister, but Geister couldn't control the footy, and it's out of bounds right in front of the Sip and Save scoreboard.
DB, that's 3 or 4 times Lambert's got the ball out of the middle. He's done that very well, but 3 or 4 times he's kicked the ball either where he's come from or over his head, as in Sam Philippou. He's led very well, and he's kicked it back straight from where he's come from.
Yeah, they're not delivering the ball all that well to Philippou as the throw-in is effective. Players up high was Dillon. Over the back, Colville got a chance. The ball at the bottom of the pack. The umpire will move in and bounce the footy. And once again, guys, we come back to that disposal. It's so important in this game.
Well, especially, I mean, Sam Philippou is a good mark and the ball's out in front of him, but he really has been given no chance.
Umpire with the footy. Throws it up. Unbelievable on a day like today as the tap away. Is an opportunity here as the ball is forced towards the boundary line. Chance here for Cotton, who's down, must be down having a run on the Jack and Jill.
He's covering a bit of ground, DB.
Is he? What? As long as I don't bring Potter onto the ground, they'll have Cotton, Cotter and Potter. As the ball is thrown in on that half-forward flank, out of side. Up they go. Big Arnold with a one-handed tap is good. Or Pearce threw the ball most away. Came to Colville. Back to Pearce up toward full forward. The ball thumped away. Here's a chance for the Doggies. Picked up by Schwert. He goes to ground. Kicked off the ground by Scotty Lee. Up towards the defensive 50 for the Bulldogs. The ball at the bottom of the pack once again. Players trying to get it out in a hurry. They can't do so. And the umpire's found one.
Oh, dear.
He's found one in all that pack of players. 400 players in top of the footy.
Want to know how.
And the umpire said, you're over his shoulder. Well, umpire, he had to be over his shoulder. There were 400 of them there as the ball is kicked out towards the half-back flank. It's taken now by Cotter. Beautiful, almost smothered by Colville. Colville throws the ball away. Ends up here with Higgins. Higgins almost dragged. You go for the handball over the top to Biglands. Biglands will have a shot in. It won't go. No, he's too slow. The tackle came just as he was about to kick the footy, and it's out towards centre-half back. Now taken here by Holmes. He goes to ground. Chance for Philippou. Around the body. Will it go through? It's bounced through for one behind only. So a number of errors there by both sides has resulted in a behind to the Eagles. 3-3-21, Central 6-4-40.
And Steve, if I have a criticism of Biglands, it's just that he's very casual. I know there probably wasn't any talking to him out there, but time and time again, he just thinks that it's a bit of a stroll in the park.
You don't need being told then that you're going to be under the hammer. That's...
The kick-out's marked by McGowan, and they're going through the corridor, the central side, as the kick finds Cotton on the half-back. Now he chips wide towards the grandstand side, finds Saywell of Central Districts. Here's a chance now for them to go forward, up towards the half-forward right position. And Hicks, who's doing well early on Rogers, takes the mark. So disappointing result there for the Eagles. Could have made a goal out of that. Now the Central's moving the ball forward nicely through Hicks, up towards the forward zone. The mark nearly taken there by Lewis. It comes to ground, picked up by Chambers. He dribbles a kick forward. Will it make the distance? Spear charges back and rushes it through for a behind. So the sip and save scoreboard, 6-5-41 the Central side. Eagles 3-3-21. 30 minutes played on the West End time clock. And of course, thanks to Cowley's Bakery for their support also amongst those other two sponsors, as Hall chips the ball short, and she's a bit of a low daisy cutter kick, marked there by Lambert. Deep in defence, defensive 50. Nearly time has elapsed in this first quarter as the kick from Lambert finds McClure, and McClure may give it back to Lambert. No, he won't. There's a siren sound, so it's quarter time here at the Woodville Oval, and it's been a very entertaining first quarter. 9 goals kicked in that opening term, 6 of them the Centrals, 3 to the Eagles. At quarter time, Central District 6-5-41 lead Eagles, 3-3-21. Back to Peter Greco with some scores from SNFL and AFL, and we'll be back shortly for a quarter-time summary. The ball in the umpire's hands, umpire Ryan, and ground cleared. Here we go. There goes the siren for the start of term 2 here in this round 15 clash between the Eagles and Central Districts. Here comes the bounce down, and it favours Biglands. That was quite a good bounce. Arnold come over the top. Here's a chance for Sale, charges through. The handball missed Steinburner, mopped up by Colville. Here's a chance for Scratcher Colville, gives off to Pays. Pays kicks a short one, marked by Lambert. He's got Dillon who wants it, but he kicks long, up towards half forward, looking there for McClure. McClure taps the ball forward, nearly taken by Kluzak. Mopped up by McClure, runs through a tackle, kicks long in towards the forward zone, and a good mark taken there by Geister. Now Geister will clear towards the outer side, has the racehorse Stevens out there. Biglands is trying vainly to catch him. He nearly runs him down. Good effort by the big fellow. Kicks up towards Hicks and Rogers. Hicks taps the ball forward. Rogers tackles him without it, but he's back over it again. Hicks gets a hand pass inboard, looking for Chambers. Chambers right half forward, gets a hand pass over towards Lee. Lee back and turn to Chambers. Central's just outside the 50. Chip inboard and finds Stevens. Lambert was in there trying to spoil, but it was too late. As Stevens chips further afield and finds McGowan running down from the centre of the ground. McClure was with him, but couldn't affect the spoil. So McGowan will kick for goal, 35 out.
So work rate again, Laurie, of Scott Stevens. He's the link man at the moment, and he's everywhere. He's on the wing 1 minute, he's in the half-forward line the next. He's just working really hard for them.
Yeah, but Ditto, he does make all his moves up and down his corridor out there. He doesn't... In that first quarter, we almost could touch him the whole quarter. He just runs up and down that corridor, whereas Pays and the rest of the blokes seem to be going all over the ground.
Here goes McGowan. Get to trouble. Well, it's just kicked to behind, in fact, this morning. The kick on its way. What's the story? You wait on the goal umpire for this one. It's a miss. It's 3 for a behind. So Central 6-6-42, double the Eagles 3-3-21. That's the sip and save scoreboard. 2 minutes played on the West End time clock. Here's Dennis Brent.
Yeah, a bit of a surprise. That usually a wonderful kick is McGowan, but on that occasion to the left-hand side. Ball kicked it out, taken by Higgins. Back to Hall it goes. Out towards their attacking 50. Marty Dillon's got the ball, but he goes to ground. Here's a chance, though, for Spear. Spear onto the left boot, out there towards that centre wing on the outer side of the ground. Up they fly. The ball's up towards the boundary line, and we'll have a boundary throw-in the true centre wing position here at the Woodville Oval. On the sip and save scoreboard, the Doggies leading 6-6-42. The Eagles are 3-3-21. Umpire about to put the ball back into play. Big Arnold and also Biglands. The ball comes to ground. Beautifully taken there by Higgins, but they've got him. The ball comes to ground. Stable tried to go through the pack. Kicked off the ground by Holm towards the boundary line. Players converge on the footy, but it beats them over the boundary line. And once again, another throw in.
Did I? No,
you blokes having a sleep there. What's going on?
No, is everything all right, boys?
We're just having a bit of a...
You waved your hand around, did I? I thought you wanted to say something.
Okay, the umpire about
the flies are bad, Dennis.
Throw the ball back into play. Once again, it's Bigland. Takes front position with 2 hands. Tried to get the handball away, but it's the Doggies that emerge with the footy. Here's a kick now by Holm up towards the 50-metre area. Leading in the race for the ball is Rogers. A lovely handball out to Pearce. Pearce, though, comes back towards the defensive 50. In fact, he's put his teammate under the hammer, who goes towards centre wing on the outer side. Here's a chance over for Saywell. Saywell's got it on the left boot. He's looking for a jumper, but they're coming in to take the mark there for the Eagles of Spear. And Spear will relieve the pressure. He's got a Guernsey out here at centre wing on the grandstand side. That's the way the footy goes. It's Matthews. Matthews takes it, comes away onto the left boot, goes with a handball into Wood. Colville push from behind. The umpire's there to push in the hammer and tack. And I'll tell you what, that was a bit lucky. In fact, that player was Young that gave the ball to Colville, and Colville now will take the free kick just backward of centre on the grandstand side. May have been lucky there as the kick now goes in towards the centre. It's all the doggies over. The player slipped underneath the footy. That was home. Luckily, though, Herrera's got the run of the ball. He picks it up. It's a shocking kick. He kicked it out towards the boundary line on the outer side of the ground. That's all the Eagles there. He picked up. It is. Comes back to Page. Page will go in forward to Lambert. Lambert's got the ball low centre wing. He's got another player loose in the centre, and that's Higgins. Higgins has got it. What's he going to do? He's going to go back steady and look for movement further afield. There's the lead up towards the pocket from Filippo. Filippo leads in the race for the ball, but it's not a good kick towards him, and the doggies will mop up. Lee's got the opportunity now to pick up the footy. Lee goes one way, then the other. Holding the ball. Wonderful tackle by Colville. Not rewarded, said the umpire. The ball's underneath players. And a little bit unlucky not to get the free kick there was Colville. A wonderful tackle on Scotty Lee. And there'll be a bounce down just outside the 50 for the Eagles side.
Umpire Brown, why don't they call them holding the ball?
You tell me, I don't know why. But they are wearing black and white. That might have something to do with it as the ball comes towards the boundary line. Here's a chance, though. Picked up by Sheldrick. Sheldrick around the body, up towards full forward. In front, though, almost taken by Geister. He recovers beautifully and kicks the ball. An absolute Barry Crocker. It's landed in the hands there of Renshaw, who tries to tap the ball towards the goal line, but it goes through for the minor score. Now, this Polish bloke doesn't get out of my way. I'll throw a bomb under him in a minute. And it's gone through for the minor score as the Eagles go along the 3-4-22. Central's a 6-42.
And I think, Steve, Sam Filippo now has got to really get onto himself and not drop his bundle. Like, he's leading well and the ball's not being delivered to him. Then he got caught behind. He gave up on that last one. I think he's got to just keep on himself, keep leading all day, and hopefully things will work out for him.
Well, he's a confident top player and he needs to get some good breaks early.
McGowan with the footy inside 50, took the mark from the kick out, chips towards the grandstand side. Little Pearce is in front. The ball comes to that player, just eludes him, in fact, shaken by Chambers of Central Districts. Kicks into the open spaces of the Central's forward line. Gurdon being chased there by Nathan Young. Here's a chance for the experienced veteran of Central's to pick up. Can't get the footy now. Here's a chance for Matthews. He'll mop up, gets a left foot kick up, looking for Pays with Stevens. Inboard goes Pays. Devine with the footy now. Here's some good play from the doggies, from the Eagles as the kick comes up towards half forward. McClure tries to take the mark, does it well, gives it to Biglands. Here's Kluzak all on his own inside 50, 40 metres out now, going towards home. Disappointing kick from Matthew Kluzak, through from behind. The Eagles 3-5-23, Trail Central 6-6-40.
What happened out there?
It's some interesting stuff on the other side with Andrew Pays.
Well,
he went out of coffee in the front row there.
Got the handball, the one to get pushed out with the spectators.
Yep, over the fence.
So
Yeah,
Scotty,
don't see that very often.
sorry, dude, but yeah.
We got a bit excited there.
Yeah, the boys are a bit of a blue in the background. I was trying to watch the play, but anyhow, the kick comes back into play. And the kick forward up towards this centre wing position, taken there by Holm, uncontested on the centre. Well, it's actually half back left for the doggy. He's called a play on now, runs around Colville. Good pressure from Colville, who made the tackle. Ball up towards half forward, taken there by Conway. Ball comes to ground there. Chambers working hard with the footy now. Kicks up towards the goal square. Here's a chance for Lewis. Balled away brilliantly by Hall. Matthews slips, taps the ball forward. Looking there for Devine. Good play from the Eagles' defence. The kick from Devine finds Pays on the bounce. Also Herrera, who knocks the ball over the boundary line and out of play. Half forward right, out of side. Woodville Oval, the Eagles 23, Trail Central's 42. We'll have a boundary throw in as the runner just goes out to Corey Lambert. There's a quick word to him as the ball thrown back into play, knocked down by Dylan. Pays now starting to get some kicks, but that's a shocker, and it's marked by Stephen Schwert. Now Schwert, right in front of the ring grip sign, chips in towards the centre of the ground. Finds his teammate in Stevens. Stevens lays off towards Daniel. Daniel up towards half forward. Conway takes a strong mark in front of Spear. Now Conway plays on quickly. Left foot kick up towards the attacking 50. The kick's not a bad one. Here's a chance now for Central Districts to move the ball forward. The chip kick from, I think it was Hicks, in fact, up towards Daniel. Daniel tackled, mopped up there by Young. Young gives the hand pass to McClure. McClure's under a lot of pressure. Gives the hand pass back towards Rogers. Rogers now in the shadows of the Barry Jarman stand. Kicks towards centre wing and finds Rintoul. In fact, it goes over his head. Here's a chance now for McClure. Puts the bump on a player there in Cotter. The ball comes out towards Steinburner. McClure throws himself with a footy. Tackles him. Chambers tackle pushed in the back by Kluzak. And there'll be a free kick on the half forward left grandstand side. Central's 42, lead the Eagles 23.
There's the kick from Chambers now, up towards the pocket. Plays leading in the race for the ball, but the doggies were, but the ball comes to ground. Beautifully taken by Hicks. The handball was good to McGowan. McGowan to Holm. Holm will go with the left boot in towards goal, but he's offline. In fact, he's out of bounds on the John Bull. No, he's umpire. Should have went through for a minor score. Excuse me, umpire. Well,
you don't mind umpire.
Once they make a decision, that's it. Nothing you can do about it.
And DB, Daniel Holm has probably had more possessions in this first half than anybody else, and I really think that the Eagles are going to have to match him up. He's just, he'd have led the poison at this present minute.
Right, the kick now from Hall. He's going out there looking for Page, who's slipped into the back pocket. Page now with the left foot. He's got a Guernsey out there, and that's the way it goes. Marty Dillon will take the mark at half back on the outer side of the ground for the Eagles. Eagles got to get back into this game. Just at the moment, it's been all the doggies in the second quarter. No leads forthcoming, so he holds the footy, then goes, an absolute shot. It nearly out of bounds on the full, it is. Well, that was an absolute shocking kick under no pressure whatsoever. And the kick to be taken out there by,
Conway.
looks like Big Mark Conway, the left footer. He'll pump the doggies back into attack. No one put in Cooey home. He dropped the ball and had time to pick it up again, then goes bang in towards full forward. Back up there. Hicks is in front, up away from behind by Rogers towards the boundary line. Players leading in the race for the ball. It's Pearce, and Pearce will pick up the ball now for the Eagle. Gets a handball inboard to Lambert. Lambert gives a funny little handball over to Spear. Spear almost run down. In fact, he was run down, and that's why the kick has ended up here with Cotter. Cotter's had a touch of the fumble, but then kicks the ball up towards full forward. At the back, Rogers is in the van. Should take the mark, does take the mark, and will relieve the pressure for the Eagles on the last line of defence. Got Page loose in the pocket once again, but Rogers ignoring that lead. Got no one to kick there now.
No height down there at the moment, DB.
Now he goes in short to Pearce, and Pearce has advanced the footy about 15 to 20 metres. Still in the defensive area of the Eagles. He comes across the ground now to Spear. Haven't gained much ground in doing all that. In fact, Spear's in the back pocket now on the grandstand side as he brings the ball towards the half-back flag. Up they fly off. Kluzak went up like a... Well, I'd rather not say, as it ends up now with Hicks. Hicks goes into the lead of... not Hicks, it's Scotty Lee into the lead of Hicks, and Hicks takes the mark only about 40 metres out. But gee, that was a half-hearted attempt there by Kluzak, boys.
And even before that, what was Biglan's doing on that outer side? He was just standing there waiting for the ball to come to him. Get towards the grandstand side.
Exactly right, Laurie. That's why they were forced to chip the ball around, because there was no one to kick to, no one moving.
In his defence, I was watching Biglan's. He did lead. When Rogers took the mark there, he led all the way up there, and he kicked it short to Spear, then Spear came out this side. So he's gone from that side, back to this side, to that side, to this side, to that side.
Well, meanwhile, back at the range, Damien Hicks has got the shotgun, and he blasted away straight through the high diddle, and that's his second goal on the board, and the Bulldogs jump away. 7 goals, 7:49 on the tip and save scoreboard. The Eagles 3-5-23.
And let's hear from Peter Greco with some scores from other games.
Port Adelaide 5-6-36, leading Norwood 2-3-15, and North 4-5-29, leading Sturt 4 straight 24. Back to Woodville.
Early second quarter scores, thanks to Peter Greco back in the studio. It's Central District's 49, leading the Eagles 23, and that's on the sip and save scoreboard. 13 minutes played on the West End time clock in this second term. Umpire Greg Inge now with the footy. In fact, that was the first goal of the quarter. So here comes the bounce. Up goes Arnold. Gets the tap on that occasion. The ball comes towards the ground. Lambert's in there working hard. McGowan gets first possession out of the centre. Kicks up towards the half-forward zone. Fist there from Rogers. Good defensive action by that player. Hall now tries to knock the ball towards the boundary line, and does so successfully. There'll be a throw-in just below the sip and save scoreboard. The Central side now have opened up that lead to 26 points. And it was around that earlier in the game when the Doggies kicked their first 4 goals of the match. Now here comes the boundary throw-in. Spear in ruck on this occasion, up against Conway. Over the top came Sable, won the hit out on that occasion. Here comes the kick forward by Steinberg into check sider. What is it? I think it's a behind. So Central Districts move along to 7-8-50, doing it quite well at the moment. The Eagles 3-5-23.
In a bit of a lull in the game at the present minute, the Eagles just can't get it through and penetrate the half-back line here of Centrals, and they're in trouble, did they?
Sorry, did I go?
Yeah, I was just going to say, Steve, that the Eagles' defence is under heaps of pressure at the moment. They've just got to get it through.
Rogers marks the kick out just inside 50, kicks towards centre wing. Good spoil there by Cotter. The ball comes down towards Lee. Now Lee with the footy. Grandstand centre wing, kicks inside the attacking 50. Rogers has to worry about 3 or 4 players coming into him. Hall gets the spoil. Then she gets a hand pass from Lambert, but Lee kicks towards goal. An unguarded goal square. Spear running back. What will the bounce do? It'll bounce through for a behind. So the Doggies 7-9-51. The Eagles 3-5-23.
It's an ominous sign, Steve, when you get Scotty Lee confident going down, having pot shots at goal this early in the game.
So Spear kicks the ball back into play. In fact, he played on from the kick out, and he found Dillon of the Eagles. Now Dillon, left back pocket. Who's he got to kick to? There's not a lot of options. Bigland's standing on the half-back line, not doing a real lot, but here comes the kick forward, and it's marked out there by James McClure. Now McClure with the footy. And, the Eagles, a couple of possessions, moving the ball forward. Now up towards Bigland, 2 shots. His opponent fair and square in the back, rose up well before acceptances, and it'll be a free kick to his opposing big man Arnold. And in fact, it's Conway with the footy. So right half forward, and Central's leading by 28 points. Done most of the attacking in this second quarter. The kick up towards the attacking 50. Ball comes to ground. McClure's in there fighting hard, as he does most weeks for the Eagles. And the pack forms with Devine in there, and also the Central's player there, I think, in Keister. And we'll have a bounce down.
Adam Ugrinic just ready to come onto the ground, just trying to pick up who's
I reckon it'll be
number 27,
Mr. Matthew Kluzak. Might just have a spell.
I reckon you're right, Jack. We'll wait and see. Keep an eye on that for us, fellas, as Pays gets a kick out of the pack towards the boundary line on that outer side. The ball just dribbles over the line. It eludes Pearce and also Stevens, and we'll have a boundary throw-in. Well, it's about 75 metres from goal, and boys, tell us what happened.
Quite right, Steve. Matthew Kluzak coming off to have a little bit of a rest.
He had 3 or 4 goes at the ball and was very soft and insipid.
He's had a bit of a Joe Cocker today as Dillon gets the footy. He's been good for the Eagles so far. Gets it over towards Pays. Pays tackled there, manages to get the hand pass clear. Rintoul picks it up, but it's taken by Daniel of Central Districts. His kick is not a good one, and it's marked by Adam Pearce. Now the Eagles have a chance here. Colby with the footy, grandstand side. Rogers tells him to kick long, and he does. Up towards the attacking half-forward area. Matthews tries to take the mark. Nearly a one-hander taken by Schwert. Higgins tries to read the ball off the pack. Here's a chance now for Lee. Kicks off the ground. McClure's clean foul by that one. It'll be mopped up by Lambert, or is it Dillon? The 2 players not too sure what to do. Dillon eventually gets a hand pass. Lambert gets 1-2 over towards Pays. Pays finds McClure. The Eagles mopping up well. Inside 50 goes the footy. Here's a chance now for Rintoul. Geister runs at him. Sheldrick picks up. Here's a chance now. Sheldrick gets onto the right foot. Goes for home. It looks good off the boot. What's it going to be? It's through from behind. Or is it a goal? We'll wait on the goal umpire. It's there. Oh. So a goal to Sheldrick. And that one got me. It looked like it was through from behind. But a goal to Sheldrick. His second of the afternoon. The Eagles' first goal of the second term. And they move along to 4 goals, 5-29. The gap back to 22 points. Central District 7-9-51. Those scores on the Sip and Save scoreboard.
They really needed that one, Laurie, and Brad Sherrick. It didn't look like it was going to go through in the end, but just snuck through from our angle, and Eagles really needed that. The defence of the Eagles has been under heaps of pressure, so it just takes that little bit of pressure off to get one on the board, I think.
Yeah, they need that one.
Umpire with the footy back in the centre, about to thump it into the turf. Bigland and also Arnold. Bigland got the tap away, came to Lambert, onto the left boot he goes, up towards the 50. Can't hear for Filippo, the ball's running in his direction now, taken by Matthews. Matthews flicked it back to Higgins. Higgins on the left boot, goes in towards goal. Is it going to fade across the front? It has for the minor score, and the Eagles move along to 4 goals, 6-30. Central District 7-9-51 on the Sip and Save scoreboard.
They're better played by the Eagles, and to get it out of the centre like they do so quickly, and Lambert's, that's his specialty, and really they just got to try and capitalise on every little mistake the Centrals make.
Scotty Lee now brings the ball out towards the lead of Hereda, and Hereda takes the mark. Defensive 50 for the Doggies. Goes in short to the lead of Steinborner. Steinborner with a handball to Cotter. Cotter now onto the right boot. Goes up towards the lead of Hicks, and Hicks a beautiful mark. Gets a handball over to Sonny Saywell. Saywell now onto the right boot. And out leading a mile in front of his opponent is Lewis. He turned around. Hall turned around to the umpire and said he was hanging on to me. The umpire said I didn't see anything of the sort. And Lewis is going to take a free kick. Not a free kick, it's a mark. He's going to kick from about 46 metres. Will make the distance. The accuracy will be the worry. As Simon Lewis now. There's the kick on its way. The goal umpire coming back. I think he may have drilled it. No, he's missed it. The goal umpires are too good for me.
They love doing that, don't they?
They love doing that. They run into the middle, put one finger up, run into the other side and put 2 up. I think I'll put 2 up one of these days as the ball comes out here towards the half-back flank, and Colville takes the mark on the grandstand side, defensive 50. Colville now goes towards centre wing. Players set themselves. It should be the Doggies. There were 2 of them there against the Eagles, and the umpires paid the mark in front to Ricky McGowan. Higgins said he had his hands on the footy, but McGowan was in front.
Punch from behind anyway. Should never get that predicament. Exactly.
Now McGowan about to thump the Doggies back into attack. He's at centre wing. looking for movement further afield. There's a kick by McGowan. Will drift into the 50. Oh, there's a player being hung on to was the big bloke in Conway. The umpire called play on as it comes to Pearce. He got the handball away. There's Rogers at the bottom of the pack. He met high, and the umpire said, in fact, I saw that one. And Rogers now will get the free kick for the Eagles.
A couple of Central's players getting up off the ground a bit slow. Hicks and Lewis.
Lewis is moving very gingerly there at the moment as Rogers has got no one to kick to. We'll bring it towards the grandstand side. It's an absolute Barry Crocker off the boot. Can't here for Rendell. Rendell runs through, but McGowan ends up with the footy. The ball's underneath him. The umpire said it's been held to him. In fact, it came out just as he blew the whistle. He's blowing time on as Bigland comes off and being replaced there by Wiggins. And Lewis limping badly going back towards full forward. I'd say he'd have to come off the way he's limping. And the umpire now with the footy right in front of the 5 RPH broadcast position. Down goes the bounce. Players set themselves. The Wiggins got the tap, but it comes... Oh, there's Cotton met high. And umpire indicated he was touched over the shoulder, and Cotton will take the free kick centre wing. Cotton now goes bang with the lead of Hicks out there. Hicks in front from behind, thumped away by Rogers. Thumped further afield by Marty Dillon. Out there it's Holm. Holm leading in the race for the ball. Had a lot of possessions in this game. Couldn't pick it up on this occasion, however. Steinberner goes in. Page goes in, uses the body. Trying to pick up the footy, but it's all the doggy. Beautifully picked up by Arnold. Arnold goes in towards the full forward area. Ball is thumped away. Chance here now for picked up by Lambert. Lambert with a handball is good to Rendell. And Rendell will bring the ball towards centre wing. He's looking here for the lead of Higgins. And Higgins takes the mark in front of Scotty Lee. Higgins now the little short kick over the top. He's got Filippo. And Filippo takes his first mark for the game. Centre wing, there's Filippo now. Shocking kick off the boot, but it's going to fall into the arms of Gavin Colville, who's created the space, and he'll kick from just outside 50. Long way out, don't know whether he'll make the distance.
Might be a bit far, DB, I think.
Gavin Colville now. This could be an important goal at this stage of the game. 4-5-29 on the sip and save scoreboard. The Eagles, they'll trail the Doggies at the moment, 7-10-52. So a pretty important kick here for Colville. He can make the distance. Usually pretty accurate, but of course he'll kick just outside 50. Swung it in front of him. In fact, he's not going to make the distance. Up by 2 Eagles players. They contested against each other. Offhand through for the minor score. 4-6-30 on the sip and save scoreboard. The Doggies are 7-10-52.
5 rush behinds to the Eagles this afternoon as the margin back to 22 points. We've played 23 minutes in this second quarter. Now the ball brought back into play out towards Schwert, and also the young man there for the Eagles in Matthews, but Schwert takes the mark, gets him to the non-preferred right foot, chips short, finds his teammate there in Steinberner. Now Steinberner chases, he's nearly chased down there by Matthews, kicks towards McGowan in the centre of Woodville Oval. The kick from McGowan's a high one up towards the forward zone, punched away from Lewis by Hall. Here's a chance now for Young to pick the footy up. In there working hard for Central Districts is McGowan. His kick is smothered. Here's a chance for Colville. Colville and Stevens. Stevens tackled by Colville. The ball comes out to Rintoul. It sits nicely for him. He streams forward, kicks a low Wormburner, kicks a Filippo, who takes a spectacular mark.
Great catch.
Inside is attacking 50 now. Is he too far out to score? He'll have to kick from 50. Sheldrick flies back towards the goal square. And a bit of a change going on there with Sheldrick looks to be playing full forward, and Filippo comes out to half forward.
As you called it, a lorry.
I think a very little.
Matthew Jones is on the ground for Central Districts at this stage.
And Conway to full forward.
Conway to full forward. And Lewis, despite kicking a couple of goals, well beat, or kicking 1 goal, being fairly well beaten by Hall at the moment in most of those one-on-one contests. But here comes Filippo. A much-needed goal for the Eagles if he can kick it now. It's on its way. It looks like a shocking kick off the boot, but it's straight through the middle. So the Eagles kick their second goal of this second stanza, and they move along to 5 goals, 6-36, trailing Central's 7-10-52. 16 points the difference on the sip and save scoreboard. Here's Peter Greco back in the studio.
North Adelaide 5-6-36, leading Sturt 4-1-25. Port 5-7-37, leading Norwood 5-3-33. It's Collingwood 12-7-79, leading Fremantle 7-4-46. Brisbane 12-7-79, leading the Western Bulldogs 8-6-54. And Melbourne 11-8-74, leading Carlton 10-4-64. Back to Woodville.
Yes, back here at Woodville, the umpire with the ball in the centre. The Eagles are coming back. Down goes the bounce. Wiggins and Arnold. No player can get the tap away. Arnold emerges with the footy, though, as it comes down here and kicked out towards the half-forward flank. Pearce is leading in the race for the ball for the Eagles. Gets a handball over to Rogers. Rogers at half-back, gets it over to Dillon in the old 1-2. Back it goes to Rogers. Rogers along that centre wing on the outer side of the ground. Up they fly, the ball thumped away. Chance here for Page if he can pick it up. Can't do so. Beautifully picked up here by Daniel for the Doggies, though. Centre wing on the outer side of the ground as he goes up towards the 50. Rogers almost to one-hander. Gets the handball beautifully done to Rintoul. Rintoul starting to come into his game as he brings it out here to Colville. Colville will get the handball over. Does so to Devine. Devine comes back onto his left boot, though. Goes in short. Was in there. Always kicked it into the breeze, and he's got to get the free kick. If not, the mark. The umpire plays the advantage here as the ball comes on from Higgins to Rintoul. Rintoul now goes streaming forward. Goes into the full forward. It's not a good kick. It's going to elude everybody, though. It comes here, though, to Geister. Geister's kick out here towards the defensive 50. Leading in the race for the ball is Cotter. Now also squared there. Well done by Matthews. Matthews on the left boot. It's a shocking kick going in towards full forward. Players leading in the race for the ball. It looks like Philip He can pick it up. He can't do so. The ball at the bottom of the pack. In goes Sheldrick. They got him, though. In McGowan ends up with the footy, though, and comes out here to Sable. Sable in the 1-2. Back it goes to McGowan. He gets a shocking bounce. McGowan comes in and picks it up again, gives it to Sable, and Sable goes bang in towards the centre, and all there by himself is Steinburner. He's had a bounce. Will he have another one? No, goes onto the right boot there, looking for the lead of Big Conway. Conway in front, didn't take the mark. Tries to pick it up again, can't do so. The ball spills loose. Colville, who's coming into this game, trying to pick it up, can't do so. What happened there, boys, on this that?
I think he got hit around the head.
He got hit around the head, and he played the free kick comes to Higgins. Higgins towards centre wing, looking for Page. He kicks it off the ground, a chance for Lambert. Lambert went to handball, then faded back, gave it out wide here to Spear. Spear in towards full forward. It's another shocking kick off the boot, but it's all the Doggies here as it's picked up here by Scotty Lee, and out towards the half-back and marked by Holm.
Holm with the footy just outside the attacking 50 for the Eagles. Chips towards the grandstand side. Colville maybe first the footy. In fact, it's Hicks with Rogers. Tackle without it was Hicks, but Rogers in over the football once again with Steinburner, and we'll have a bounce down. So this second quarter starting to liven up a bit as we approach half-time. The Eagles 36, trail Central Districts 52 as Hicks and Rogers tear off back towards the attacking 50, and we'll have Wiggins in ruck against Arnold on this occasion. Now the ball bounced. The umpire, for some reason, watching the ruckman, but anyhow, here comes Wiggins, taps it down to Lambert. Lambert has had a mountain of touches. Over to Rintoul. Can he kick a little bit better this time? Up there looking for Philippo, who marks on the fingertips. 35 out, right forward pocket. And here's a chance now for them to narrow the gap. Although fellows, your ex-Woodville blokes, not an easy angle to kick from that forward pocket.
No, actually, be surprised, actually. That pocket's quite wide there, so I've got my money back right on him. Sam will kick this.
Okay. Get on with me.
Yeah, but you're a backman. You couldn't kick over jam, Tim.
Here comes the kick. Philippo on its way, and it's, what's the goal? We'll have to wait on the goal fly, because I think it's a point.
It's a goal.
No, she's there. 3 for behind. So the Eagles 5-7, 37. Philippo now 1 goal, 1 this afternoon. And Central District 7 goals, 10, 52. So 15 points the difference as Geister marks the ball from the kick out. Being hassled there by Sheldrick. Geister gets his kick up towards the grandstand side. It goes out in the full. So Adam Pearce will take the resultant free kick.
Very important couple of minutes here, Laurie. If the Eagles can get one more and go in at half-time, only a sort of couple down.
Pearce kicks up towards Philippo. It goes over his head and also Hereda. The ball's mopped up by Lee. Lee chips into the centre half-back region, finds Saywell. Saywell streaming forward. Nearly run down there by Dillon. Kicks up towards Hicks and Rogers. Ball fisted away by Rogers. Pays now with the footy. Gets onto the left foot. Chips up towards half-forward left. Up there looking for Wiggins as the siren sounds for half-time. And a very entertaining half of play. Central Districts at half-time lead by 15 points on the Sip and Save scoreboard. 7 goals, 10, 52. The Eagles, 5 goals, 7, 37. So 15 points the difference as the mini-league come out onto Woodville Oval. Well, what we might do, cross back to the studio, gather our thoughts, get some scores.
Players like Ray Hubbard, John Roberts, Kevin Harris, Jeff Kingston, Lee Robson and so forth. So I'll tell you a little bit more after the game, but it's this next Saturday, July the 19th, 7 o'clock.
Okay, as we're ready to start the third quarter of action here at the Woodville Oval. It's Central Districts leading by 14 points. The ball in the hands of umpire Humphreys, and it's knocked out of the air from the hands of Arnold, actually, by Lambert. The kick forward comes from McClure, up towards half forward. Here's a chance now for Hereda to mop up. Being chased there by Sheldrick, the good shepherd there by Geister. Tackled, gang tackled by the Eagles, and the umpire says he couldn't get rid of it. there'll be a bounce down 20 out from the northern end goal. Good start for the Eagles in the opening seconds of this third quarter. And they need some goals early to keep in touch. Here comes the bounce down. And it's Wiggins and Arnold from behind. Got that tap. Lee kicks towards the left half-back area. And the mark taken there by McGowan. McGowan 19 touches in the first half. And Lambert just having the 15 as the kick forward finds Schwert on the half-back position. Now he plays on, runs around in a bit of a circle, gets onto the left foot, kicks towards that outer side. The mark dropped by Saywell. Taps the ball forward under pressure from Higgins. Now picks it up in front of the ring grip sign. Kicks forward on that left foot up towards half forward left. Divine fists the ball away from Cotton. And the ball goes over the boundary line and out of play. Any matchups early, fellas?
No, I think Scotty Stevens is still with Marty Dillon on this wing. They haven't made any changes there. And Andrew Rogers still with Damien Hicks. So there's no real outstanding changes I can pick up at this stage.
Spear and Conway. Conway wins that one. Down towards Saywell. Gets a quick kick forward up towards the half-forward area. Taken by Cotton. Hill straightened. Kick towards goal. Smothered by Hall. Beautifully done by the backman. Gives the hand pass to Rogers. Rogers chips towards the right half-back flank. And the mark taken out there by Adam Pearce. So the Eagles stopping a certain goal there through.
Very lucky there.
The smother there from Stephen Hall, the low trajectory kick, but it's with Pearce now. Kicks towards the outer side wing. Sheldrick's mark on that outer side. So good effort there, and may get 25 from Geister. No, he won't, says the umpire. So Sheldrick directs traffic towards the centre of the ground. Has Spear, who's run down from the back line. Now Spear looks to play on. Kicks the ball up towards the half-forward left zone. Looking there for Filippo, but a nice mark taken in the front position by Schwert. And Filippo and Herrera have had a bit of a tete-a-tete, and I'm not too sure. No, he's not going to be reported, but he certainly slung the arms in that general direction. So Schwert now with the footy. Chips up towards the grandstand side. Here's a chance for young Nathan Young. The ball comes to ground. Taken there by Gurdon, one of his few touches. Gives off to Saywell. Saywell kicks a high one, a real Hail Mary job, that one, but Pearce backed his judgment and took a nice mark.
Played quite well.
Yes, he has done well. Chips into the centre of the ground. Number 11 possessions for Pearce so far in the game. He kicks out towards the centre wing, looking there for Kluzak. Kluzak with the footy now. In fact, is it Colville? The kick comes forward inside the attacking 50. Sheldrick and Matthews. Sheldrick nearly marks one-handed. Matthews gets it back towards McClure. McClure has his teammate in Wiggins. The big fella has a fresh air shot. The ball in dispute in that forward zone. Taken by Schwert. Gets onto the left foot. A shocking kick. Finds his teammate in Holm. Tackled by Dillon. In runs Rintoul. Picked up by Arnold. Taken by Filippo. Onto the left foot. Chips into the left forward pocket. Looking for Ugrinnick. Ugrinnick has the football now. Chips across the body to a vacant-looking goal square where Wiggins takes the mark at his chest in the left forward pocket. And the big fella plays on. Chips towards Payne, who marks. And he will have a shot on goal from 15 out. And obviously there, fellas, the umpire didn't whistle time off, as Page will be allowed to take his kick.
A good play there. I mean, Biglands would have had a tough shot there right on the boundary. So Andrew Page, season campaigner, really should make this a goal.
4 minutes played. Page, it's a shocking kick. He ran around and then straightened, and it came off the instep through for a behind. So the Eagles really needed the goal there. 5-9-39, trailing Central, 7 goals, 10-52.
DB, it's a real Indian arm wrestle at the present minute. Either side really just can't get hold of the pill and kick a goal at this present minute.
And the kick from Scotty leads an absolute Barry Crocker, but luckily for him it bounces into Stephen's hands. And then the kick from Stephen Schwert, another reliable kicker of the football, is out on the John Bull, and 3 bad kicks we've seen in a row there from both sides. It's just unusual at the moment.
I don't know if it's an oval or a square, but they're all having trouble with it.
They certainly are, and might be an egg they're kicking instead of a football as the ball goes up towards the centre-half forward position, offhand to Sheldrick. He grabbed, taken by Filippo. Filippo kicks another Barry Crocker and through for the minor score. So just at the moment, the players having trouble controlling the football, and the Eagles move along now to 5 goals, 10-40. Central District 7-10-52.
Against good sides like Central's are, you've just got to capitalise on every opportunity you get, and unfortunately the Eagles have just let 2 go by.
And Scotty Lee now to bring the ball back into play. He'll go out in the lead of Geister out there, and also with him is Page. Geister tried to tap the ball, almost marked by Page, was on the ground, came to Saywell. Saywell gave it to Steinburner. Steinburner goes into the centre wing position. Players there, Hicks is there. The ball bounces off. Here's a chance though for the big bloke in Wiggins. Gets the handball to Spear. He's almost run down, and Devine in fact, and he was run down, and the kick's a shocker. It's marked by Holm. Holm got a Guernsey loose, and that's Gurdon. Gurdon kick is another. What's happening here? He's fallen over as he went to kick the ball. Adam Pearce threw it out to Devine. Devine dodges around. Got one high. The umpire said, go back and have a free kick, son, you deserve it. because he was clouded around the mush very high. He goes into the centre. He's got Lambert loose there. In fact, with it just backward of centre. Lambert goes to the lead of Pays. He created the space at centre wing. Pays goes short. He's got a player all by himself out there, and that player is Colville. Colville goes to the lead here of Ugrinnick. Wonderful football that time by the Eagles, and Ugrinnick's got it. Right out there on the half-forward flank, about 40 metres from goal.
Well, it looked like there was horrible disposals leading up to that, and then the last probably 5 were perfect.
Yeah, superb.
So we don't know what's going on here at the moment as Ugrinnick's kick is off the boot. It's coming across the face of the goal, in fact, off hands and through for the minor score. So the Eagles 5-11-41, the Bulldogs 7-10-52 on the Sip and Save scoreboard. And we've played just about 5 minutes into this third quarter on the West End time clock. Your commentator is Laurie Colliver.
Thank you very much, Dennis Brown, as Scotty Lee elects to play on from the kick out up towards this grandstand side. Finds Schwert. 8 touches in the first half. Stephen Schwert now with the footy. Chips into the centre half back region. And the mark taken there by McGowan, I think it is, on that occasion. Holm, in fact. Now, Holm, who had plenty of the footy in that first half, kicks up towards half forward. The ball's pulled away from the Central District's player there, taken by Dillon. And he's having a nice old wrestle there with McGowan. And we'll have a bounce down on the half forward right position. So really the Eagles had their chances there to get a score, or certainly a goal, and a couple of bad misses. Philippo Pays and Ugrinnick then. But anyhow, here comes the bounce down. 11 points the difference. Down goes the footy. Arnold goes up in ruck, up against Wiggins, knocked forward by Arnold. Girdham's there. Might be carrying an injury this afternoon as Holm kicks the ball forward. Hall dashes out, kicks along the ground very carefully, and the ball goes over the boundary line and out of play. And Hall has done very well this afternoon, fellas.
Well, he plays in front. He's very quick for a big man, and he anticipates very well as we see the big fella and Brett Bigland's come back on the ground after only a very quick spell.
Here comes the boundary throw-in, and it's Spear in ruck once again, knocked forward there by Conway. The ball kept in play by Sowell. No, it's not. The whistle blows, and we'll have a boundary throw-in in the right forward pocket, 40 metres or so around from the southern end goal. Central's 52, the Eagles 41. Here comes the throw-in. Conway fists the ball towards goal. Here's a chance there for Cotton. Tries to pick the footy up. Here's a go for Devine. Colville's in there working hard for the Woodville West Torrens side. And we'll have a bounce down 20 metres out from goal.
Interesting matchup there, the way that they both ruckmen, instead of being loose in defence, the Eagles ruckmen are staying back across the centre line.
Yeah, you don't see that very often, do you, in this day and age in footy with the ruckmen? But the Eagles have been playing in the first 3 quarters in patches.
Sunny conditions here at Woodville Oval as Rogers knocks the ball out of the air. Knocked forward by Conway. The kick forward. What have we got here?
Well, that must go be a free kick to Pearce, because Girdham absolutely hit him behind the head.
Pearce
Let's
and
see if
Girdham,
picked it right.
He's certainly gone that way, and he's cautioning Girdham.
I was watching there.
Girdham's had a bit of a dirt. You were watching for a change. Girdham having a bit of a dirty afternoon, but Pearce with the footy chips up towards Pays. Marked by Wiggins in front of Arnold on the right half-back position. Now, there's no one in that centre area, and Wiggins kicks towards Lambert. Had to fist the ball away from home. The ball comes to ground. Mopped up by Stevens. Here's a chance now for him to scope forward. Chips inside the attacking 50. Finds Hicks. Good mark in front of Rogers. There wasn't much the Eagles skipper could do. Now, Hicks kicks short into that right forward pocket. Finds Saywall. No real closer to goal. Hicks has got to lean forward. He put the dummy lead, and it took Stevens away from Rogers, and he took the mark. Now here's another kick forward, and it's Chambers in the right forward pocket. So the Eagles not quite manning up as tightly as they might, and we'll have a shot on goal from Chambers of the Dogs.
I had no idea then what was going on, Laurie. I couldn't see why they got so free. Every bloke was responsible, and then they just went to sleep.
Yeah, but what about the kick of Wiggins when he marked the ball there? He just put it in the centre, and it was all Central District.
Terrible kick, as we're watching Sean Chambers line up for goal. Kick from about 35 metres. He's on his way. Dillon on the mark. The kick looks strong. What does the goal umpire say? He's gone to the centre of the goal. We'll wait on him. He's kicked a goal. So there you go. I couldn't tell. The goal umpire could. He's closer than I am. And it's the Doggies' first goal of the second half. They moved to 8 goals, 10-58. The Eagles 5-11-41. And certainly the Eagles had their chances in the first 5 or so minutes to kick a goal. Central's just run down, kick a goal straight away.
I think that the Eagles have definitely jumped out a lot better in the second half, but to Central's credit, I suppose let off the hook a couple of times there, but then they've gone forward and surged the last 2 or 3 minutes, and they've got the goal they were looking for.
Right. Bounce down in the centre. Up they go. The tap by Wiggins comes towards the end of the square, taken by McGowan, but he's grabbed by Higgins, and we'll have a bounce down just on the attacking side of the square, or just inside the square for the Eagles. They're kicking to the southern end, or the club rooms end of Woodville Oval. Down goes the tap, taken by Lambert. His kick has ended up with Colville, who's almost back in the centre. He'll go on to the left boot, though. He put it out wide, looking for Filippo. Filippo will be... No, he didn't try to mark it. He just let the ball bounce in front of him. Chance here now for Scotty Lee, who's been a very good player. Comes to McGowan. McGowan out here towards the half-back flank, taken by Steinberner. He's got Stevens running past. The handball goes over the top. Stevens will have to get rid of it. Oh, dodges cleverly, then gives it over to his teammate there in the player in... Chambers. Chambers gave it to Cotter. Cotter out to the centre. Here's a chance, though, for the Doggies. It's taken beautifully there and put up towards the full forward area. Almost a beautiful mark there to the player there in Lewis. He can't pick up the ball. It's almost kicked off the ground by Hicks as it comes towards the goal square and kicked off the ground by the Eagles players and through for the minor score. So the Doggies quickly up into attack there. They move along now to 8 goals, 11.59. The Eagles are 5.11.41. The kick out towards the outer side of the ground and ended up with Wiggins on the half-back flank. He'll come back in towards the centre half-back position, gets the handball to Pearce. Pearce is going to get run down, gets the handball. Luckily, just in time now. Comes back towards Pearce, messing around with the ball, comes to Devine. Devine in the centre, gets the kick up towards the Rindle up high, takes a wonderful mark over the top of Steinberner, and the umpire's going to play a 25-metre penalty because Rindle went to run away and he was grabbed by Steinberner, and so this is going to be a very important 25-metre penalty as it puts him within kicking range. He'll kick from about 48.
I reckon he should be a better player than what he is. He's got everything, this guy.
Sure has.
Reminds me of you in your heyday, Jack, as Rindle kicked from about 50. It's a beautiful kick. Will it go through now? It's to the right-hand side of the goal post. Another minor score on the board for the Eagles. 5 goals, 12.42. The Doggies are 8.11.59 on the sip and save scoreboard.
I think the Eagles need to get a run on now. They're playing their football the same in the first half. They patches. They have 4 or 5 minute patch, Steve, and then they go to sleep for a while and they hang in there. They really need to get 3 or 4 strings, 3 or 4 together, I believe.
Well, they've just had a chance to get 3 and they've missed them all.
So here comes the ball, brought back into play by Lee. Kicks to McGowan, who has to dive in the end to take the mark. 35 out from goal. Now he'll play on. McClure tried to put some pressure on him, but Holm all on his own again. Drops a mark. Play on's the call in the centre of Woodville Oval. The kick forward up towards half forward right. Rogers gets a nice bounce. Taken there by Hicks. Managed to give the handball to Pearce. Pearce had Devine running for him, but went alone. Chip towards the outer side, where Biglands and Pays have got the chance to run the ball forward. Pays it is. Has a couple of bounces. Shepherded by Biglands. Kick forward from Pays up towards half forward. Up goes Sheldrick. Nearly takes the mark. Play on's a call. The ball comes to ground. Sheldrick in there working hard with 3 or 4 Central Districts players, and eventually Lee is tackled, and there'll be a bounce down as Lambert comes off the ground and Kluzek comes on. So that's an interesting move, guys.
I can't work that out. It didn't look like he was injured, but I mean, McGowan has probably had the better of him in the second half, but God, he's the best player in the first quarter.
Yeah,
first half.
15 touches to McGowan's 19 in the first half as the ball in the centre of the ground. And it's knocked away there, a long way by Arnold, there towards Rintoul of the Eagles. He gives a hand pass to Colville. Colville gets a kick forward, not a good one. Mark taken by Holm. I don't know how he marked that. He managed to get a hand up. Gives a hand pass towards Lee. Lee chips in towards the centre half-back area, taken by Steinberner. Gave it to Cotter, nearly tackled by the Eagles. In came Ugrinic, but it wasn't quite in time. The ball comes up towards half-forward. Here's a chance for Young to pick the footy up, but over there is Gurdon, being pressured by Devine. Managed to get the ball back towards Hicks. Hicks kicks towards the 50-metre attacking zone. Sale's in the best position. The ball goes over his head. Taken here by Pearce. He's played well this afternoon. He's under pressure from Stevens. Gets a left foot kick to Kluzak. Now Kluzak, left half back with the footy. Doesn't know what to do with it. Gives it to Higgins eventually by hand. He kicks forward up towards the half-forward area. And it's a shocking kick marked by Conway in front of the Eagles player in Wiggins. He gives towards Geister. Now Geister with an awkward-looking kick up towards half-forward. The mark paid or a free kick it is to Hicks, and Rogers not looking too happy about that. A little bit soft as Hicks kicks towards the full forward zone. Up there, pardon me, up there looking for Lurs. The ball comes to ground. Stephen Hall works hard and knocks the ball over the boundary line and out of play. 20 metres around from the southern end goal.
Marty Dillon coming off Brett Murray.
So a change. Murray having spent the first half on the interchange bench as the ball in the hands of the boundary umpire, just around from the southern end goal. Here comes the throw-in. Up goes Lewis, I think it was on that occasion. The ball comes to ground. Here's a chance for Cotton. Gave it off to McGowan. McGowan in turn over towards his teammate there, the new player on the ground, Swatala. He kicks towards the goal square and the mark's taken by Jared Cotton. So the Central side probably haven't had as much play in this third quarter as their opposition, and yet they're about to kick their second goal this term. The Eagles have kicked 4 behind, so the Doggies looking to open up this lead to 23 points. Here comes the kick from Cotton. Goal number 2 for Jared Cotton, straight through the middle. And the Dogs, 9 goals, 11, 65, lead the Eagles 5-12, 42 on the sip and save scoreboard. The West End time clock tells us, fellas, we've played 15 minutes.
It looks like Sean Chambers coming off for a spell with for his first run for the day. Craig Potter coming on, going straight into the middle to use his fresh legs.
And the Bulldogs have got away now, and gee whiz, as Laurie said, the Eagles have had probably twice as much of the footy as the Bulldogs, but suddenly they've kicked 2 goals in this quarter without a reply from the Eagles, who've managed, what have they managed?
4 behind.
4 behind. And the umpire's got the ball in the centre, about to thump it into the turf. Down it goes. The big men will rise for the occasion. The tap is good for the Eagles, but it's grabbed by Saywell. They've grabbed him, and we'll have another bounce down in the centre of the Woodville Oval.
Corey Lambert preparing to come back onto the ground. He's just had a grease and oil change. I think he wasn't injured at all. I don't know, maybe a bit of blood or something.
It might have been something to do with discipline, I think.
I think
Probably
so.
Brucey Winter was in his ear as the bounce goes down. Up they fly once again. Off hands to Pearce. Been a good little player. Kicks it. A lot of it McClure. In fact, up towards the half-forward flank. Thumped away by the Central District defenders. The ball is underneath the players. And we'll have another bounce down centre wing on the grandstand side. So 5-12-42 the Eagles. Central District 9-11-65 on the sip and save scoreboard. The umpire about to bounce the footy. The Eagles need a couple of goals to get back into this football match. The bounce down on the centre wing, just right in front of the 5 RPH commentary position. Up they go. The big tap down by Wiggins, taken by Scotty Elite. Had a number of them today, I can tell you. Comes to Rental, he's grabbed. There's Pearce tapping the ball forward. Rental tried to dive on it. Came to Saywell. The handball to Conway is good. Back to Saywell. Saywell's got a player loose. He goes over the player's head, though. It's up towards full forward, taken by Lewis. He handballed past Hicks. It ends up now with Spear. Spear onto the left boot, out here towards the player and trying to tap the water towards the boundary line. In fact, it's gone out of bounds on the right half-forward flank for the Bulldogs, and I'm not sure why Saywell didn't kick to Hicks, who was a mile in front of his opponent, boys.
Quite right, he was DB, and he'd done it beautifully too, and just don't know why he didn't go to him.
Right, there's the throw-in. Players set themselves. Hicks towards the back, tried to take it, ends up with Devine. He gave it to Pearce. Pearce is around the body, up towards centre wing. Wiggins is there, tried to tap it in front of him, gives the opportunity here for Murray. He is on the ground, around the body goes Murray at the back. Philippo, he couldn't take it, but then taps the ball in front of him, being chased by Herrera. Philippo trying to trap the ball in front of him, comes back here to Scotty Lee. Scotty Lee with a left-handed handball looking for Stevens. Stevens taps it back, he gives it a hit. Oh, he's played near and goes to ground is Potter. Potter there will take the free kick. The umpire said he was pushed into the turf. Potter now goes out towards that half-back flank, and he's found Geister. Geister now got a player loose at half-back, and that's Saywell. Saywell to Stevens. Away go the doggies. Stevens out wide. He's got the big bloke in Arnold. Arnold streams through the centre, goes out to the half-forward flank. There's a lovely lead out there for that man Cotton again, and Cotton's taken the ball outside 50. Will kick from about 55. Probably too far out to kick a sausage roll, so he's looking for movement further afield. Now he goes on with the left boot. The lead's come out here from Hicks. Hicks in front, a mile in front, in fact, and takes the mark, and he'll kick from about 45.
He's had an excellent duel with Andrew Rogers, I think you said before, Laurie, and I'd say Hicks would be a smidge in front.
I think he's a mile in front, actually, Steve.
I'm being nice.
Well, there you go, boys. A difference of opinion there. That's what we like on 5 RPH. As Hicks now will kick from 45, and I'll tell you what, if he drills this, the doggies might open this game right up and race away. We'll wait on the kick from Damien Hicks. He's usually a wonderful kicker of the football.
If it takes any more, they'll need the lights on.
And that's a credit to him too, because anyone who can get on top of Andrew Rogers has had a pretty good day, because Andrew's normally a very, very good backman.
It could be a questionable move as well, as Hicks is about to come in from 45. There's the kick. Look at that. Straight through the high diddle-diddle. The goal umpire doesn't move. He's riveted to the ground like a statue. The third sausage roll on the board for Hicks. The 10th for the doggies. 10-11-71. The Eagles 5-12-42. Back to the studio for some updated scores.
Yes, it's Norwood 7-5-47, leading Port 6-9-45. North 8-10-58. Leading Sturt 6-2-38, and in the AFL, Collingwood 24-9-153, leading Fremantle 9-4-58. Brisbane 19-10-124, leading the Western Bulldogs 10-7-67, and Melbourne 18-9-117, leading Carlton 15-9-99. Back to Woodville.
And a great result for the Demon supporters. Not too good here for the Eagles at the moment. They trail by 29 points. This tap won by Wiggins on this occasion. Down towards Higgins. McGowan got a hand pass. Fisted ahead by Rintoul. The ball in the centre of the ground still. Here's a chance for McGowan. Gave off towards Geister, the ex-Melbourne player. Kicks up towards half-forward left. Here's a chance for Hicks once again, and Rogers. The ball's in front of Hicks. Gets a bit of a shove in the back from Rogers. The ball comes to ground. The pack forms on that outer half-forward flank. and we'll have a bounce down. I think it was Spear was saying, well, I want a free kick, but none forthcoming.
Steve, the Eagles need something here. They've been just trying to hang in, but the Bulldogs are just eking this lead out.
Rogers wins the hit out, goes to James McClure, over in turn to Rintoul. Rintoul on the outer side, kicks up towards half forward. The ball over the heads of Geister and Sheldrick, mopped up by Steinburner, tackled by Pays, intercepted by Higgins, who was legged, and we'll get a free kick. No, play on the call, up towards Pays. Now Pays, can he make amends for the miss in the third quarter? Kicks towards goal, he has, he's put it through. So a much needed goal to the Woodville West Torrens side through Andrew Pays. He's kicked his first goal of the football match this afternoon. And it's Woodville West Torrens, 6 goals, 12-48, trailing Central's 10-11-75. 10-11-71 as we enter time on the West End time clock.
Well, as I said, Steve, they need something here, the Eagles, and they got it through the agency of Andrew Pays kicking that goal, but it's only one. And this is where I think they have to string 2 or 3 together in a row now without an answer from Central District.
What about putting Lambert back on the ground, though? Right? If it is discipline, OK, you've got to win the game. Like, you've told him off, do your bit. And
well, he was up off the bench ready to go. They've obviously changed their mind again.
That was with an injury, I think. Someone's pulled up all right, though.
So the ball in the hands of umpire Inge once again, as Kluzak having a run in the centre, as Wiggins goes up in ruck, wins that ball on that occasion, down towards Central Districts. The kick comes forward there by the Central's player there in Potter, up towards half forward. Here's a chance for Kluzak. Colville's also there. Here's a chance now for Kluzak. Gets a kick forward, a tumbling kick, but it's marked by Lee. Both former Crows teammates. Now, Lee with the footy. Chips towards half forward left. Over the top comes the young fellow there in Switala. Over towards half forward. Colville's in there, diving hard. Gets a shove in the back. Oh, no. Umpire says no. It was right in front of him.
Different umpire that time, boy.
Different umpire. OK, we won't bag him too much, but
we've been pretty light on them today.
Yeah, we've been too bad.
Okay.
Well, at half-time, it was only 12 free kicks, 6 each. But anyhow, here comes the bounce down. Knocked down by Centrals. Taken by Saywell up towards the forward area. Over the head of Devine. Here's a chance now for him to mop up. Gets a kick forward. Got a bit of a shove in the back as he did. Up looking there for Murray. The ball on that centre wing, half forward area. Here's a chance for Stevens. Gave it back towards his teammate there in Jones. Jones kicks up towards the full forward area. Taken by Young. Gave a hand pass. Intercepted there by Centrals. The ball comes out. Here's a chance for Holm. His kick smothered. In there working hard for the Doggies is Hicks. Picked up by Pearce. Players diving in with Gay abandoned at the moment as the ball comes back towards Potter. Cotton, in fact. Here's McGowan. Chips up towards half forward right. And the mark taken by Jones of Central Districts. 55 out. Too far out to score. He chips forward, looking there for Lurs. The ball goes over his head and also that of Hall. Mopped up here by the Eagles. The kick forward up towards this grandstand side. Murray and Stevens. The fist from Stevens comes towards Jones of Centrals. The hand pass over towards his teammate there in Potter. The kick forward inside 50. Up there looking for Hicks. Nearly took the mark. Rogers giving him a hard time. Mopped up by Spear. Spear kicks towards the outer side. There's a panic for the Eagles player out there. Who's Rintoul? He's got it now. Has a couple of bounces. Has another one. Lee's charging at him. He gets the kick forward. Chips in board. Smart thinking. Marked by Higgins. Higgins 70 out from goal. Played on. Gets onto the left foot, chips towards half forward, goes over the head of Pays. He's going to get the footy now, taps it forward to Philippe. Here's a chance for Sam Philippe. The left foot kick is good, it's a goal. Fantastic play from Sam Philippe. Kicks his second goal of the afternoon. 2 goals, 2 he has got. And it's 7-12-50 the Eagles. Central's 10-11-71 on the sip and save scoreboard. Time running out in this third quarter, brought to you by Cowley's Bakery.
Final score from Victoria Park. Collingwood 25-10, 160. Have defeated Fremantle 9-6-60. 100 points. Back to Woodville.
We're back on?
Yeah, we're back. It's 17 points the difference. Peter just giving us some updated scores back in the studio. But now to tell you about the closing moments before three-quarter time, here's Dennis Brown.
Down goes the bounce. The big men rise. Comes to Saywell. Around the body goes with the left foot. Up towards half forward. Spear leads in the race for the ball, but he couldn't mark the ball. Here's a chance now for the Eagles. Ends up with Pearce. Pearce out looking for Rogers. Rogers, can he pick it up? He does, but he's grabbed. Comes out to Colville. Colville to handball out wide. He's got the young bloke there in Young. Young comes up towards the centre wing. Riddle up and takes another screamer. And you heard Jack say before, he's got everything, this bloke, and certainly another screamer of a mark. He'll bring the ball inboard into the centre. Spears there all by himself. He's got Pearce out here at the centre wing also by himself. That's the way the footy goes. Pearce has got it now. He dodge around. He went to dodge around. Big Conway should have. And he could have done it easily, but decided to go back, take the kick and give it into Page. Page being hung on to. This could be 25.
It certainly is.
In fact, it is. The Central District player told the umpire where to go.
Has he given him more, or he's given him 50?
No, he's only given him 25.
Yeah,
and so Andrew Page will kick from 50.
It's about 28, I reckon.
So the player that infringed was Steinberner, who must have said something to the umpire afterwards. And lucky probably not to get another 25. As Piers now will, Page will kick from the 50 up towards full forward, but Conway's back in defence now, takes the mark. He'll come out on the left foot, has a bounce, goes out toward that outer side half-back flank. He's kicked it straight down the throat, though, of Rintle, is it? Or Devine, I was going to say. But anyway, back in towards the centre, over the head there of the player in Spear. He kicked off the ground to Pearce. Pearce with a clever little handball back to Spear. Spear goes in towards centre-half forward. Players fly off trumped off the back, taken by the player there in Higgins. Higgins is going to straighten up for goal. The drop punt on its way. No. And it's drifted away to the right-hand side through for the minor score. They've certainly wasted some opportunities in front of the sausage rolls this afternoon. 7 goals, 13-55. The Doggies are 10-11-71 on the Sip and Save scoreboard.
This is going to be very costly for him, Steve, this wasted opportunities in front of goal.
Right, Scotty Lee now kicks the ball to himself. It's a siren goes to end the third quarter here at the Woodville Oval. And as has been the case in the game thus far, the Bulldogs away to a good start, and the Eagles pegging them back in the latter stages of the quarter. So at three-quarter time on the Sip and Save scoreboard, the Bulldogs are 10-11-71. They lead the Eagles 7-13-55.
Back
to him, he likes being, right amongst the action.
Very good matchup. Looks like Conway's going to the ruck for the start of this last quarter, and they've got Arnold out on a half-forward flank.
Very interesting.
Sam Philippo and Sheldrick starting up on the line.
Okay, so here we go. Start of the final quarter, brought to you by Cowley's, West End and Sip and Save. The bounce. Wiggins charges at it, but it's knocked backhanded there by Conway. Here's a chance for Chambers to get the footy, but it's kicked mid-air by the little fellow in Pearce, who's played well this afternoon. The ball bounces towards McClure. McClure now gets a hand pass inboard, looking there for a teammate, but found Scotty Lee. Lee's kick up towards half-forward Pearce, and Colville nearly collide as both players were desperate to get the footy. Higgins mops up well, gives it to Colville. Colville kicks towards half-forward left. Up there looking for Payes, who takes a strong mark in front of Lee. And he will move the ball forward. He's about 80 out from goal. Has a lead forth coming from Ugrinnick. And Ugrinnick will mark in front of himself in
Wiggins,
that left half-forward area. Wiggins all by himself in the square too. Gee whiz. But anyhow, Ugrinnick. Chance to kick the Eagles' 8th goal of the afternoon. 48 metres out. Oh. The kicks are, it's a shocking-looking kick. It just falls short. Here's a chance now for Philippo to mop up. Tries to get the ball on the boot. And I think it's Kluzak who takes the ball over the boundary line and out of play. 10 metres around from the southern end goal. The Eagles need an early goal in this final term, Dennis.
Yes, and Stephen Schwert preparing to come on with the left knee bandage, so not too sure who's going to come off the ground as the tap comes down. Here's a chance for the Eagles. Kicked off the ground, though, by the big bloke in Conway towards the boundary line. In fact, it'll go over the boundary line. It'll be out of bounds there on that left half-forward flank for the Eagles. They're kicking to the northern end of the Woodville Oval, and they trail on the Sip and Save scoreboard 7-13-55. The Doggies at 10-11-71.
DB, they need that first goal. That'll be the most important thing for the day.
Yes, certainly an important injection the Eagles need, as you heard Steve Jackley, that is, say, as the ball comes out here towards the player there in Higgins. He was grabbed, and it was, in fact, McGowan that grabbed him. He ended up with a footy, and we're going to have a bounce down on that left half-forward flank. There's a big aeroplane goes over the top. Bounce goes down. Up they fly. Big Wiggins got the tap down, came here towards McClure. McClure was grabbed, and once again, another ball up, I think, so the third ball up. Out there on that half-forward flank.
That was Superman, wasn't it, David?
Oh, Superman, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was.
I was sitting next to two of them.
Yeah. Right, the free kick anyway has ended up here with the Doggies. Not sure what that was all about, but it's Conway that's got the free kick as it comes out here towards centre wing on the outer side of the ground. Over the head of the pack, Pearce will lead in the race for the ball. Gives it out here towards Page. The handball is good. Page goes back up towards half-forward with a nice drop punt. Oh, big pack of players set themselves off hand. Here's a chance for Saywell. He's leading. He overruns the footy, though. In there with him is Higgins, and once again the ball forced over the boundary line. And we've seen this in each of the quarters. The Eagles have had the ball in their forward line, and the Doggies take it straight down and kick a goal. See if it'll happen again in this final quarter. There's the throw-in. The big men do battle once again. Conway up in front there with Wiggins off hand. Here's a chance for the Eagles to be picked up. Now it's picked up there by Stevens at the bottom of the pack. Gets a handball out. Is it intercepted by Higgins? No, it's not. Scotty Lee's about to pick it up. He's going to get grabbed, but gets the kick away now up towards half-forward. Hicks is there, up in front, over the back of the pack, though. It's all the Eagles picked up by Spear. Very slow in getting rid of that ball. In fact, it's ended up here with the Doggies over the top. It comes a chance for Chambers. This is going to be a sausage roll off the left boot. No, to the left-hand side of the goal post and through for the minor score. 10 goals, 12.72 on the Sip and Save scoreboard. The Eagles 7-13-55.
And just with the matchups you were talking about before, it looks like Damien Arnold is going to come off, and Schwerdy's going to go back on into half-back flank. Back pocket.
Schwerdy's going to go to the pocket, yep, Steve. And,
Go on, Ian.
can't see who it is coming out. Who is that coming out to the Geister, yep.
Here comes the kick out, marked by Higgins, under some pressure, but he'll run towards this grandstand side, looking for Devine. Devine backs back just in front of us here and takes the mark, right half back. And it's 17 points the difference. 4 minutes played on the West End time clock in this final quarter as Devine's kick up there looking for Rintoul. Filippo came over the top. Rintoul dodges around, gets the kick forward. Into the sun it goes. Here's a chance for Sheldrick. Gets it on the second hop. Can't keep it in possession. And eventually goes over the boundary line and out of play under some pressure there from Geister of Central Districts. And we'll have a boundary throw in. 50 metres around from the southern end goal. No goals yet in this final term. Just the behind to the Doggies. Here comes the boundary throw in. It's Wiggins in ruck up against Conway. Conway got first hand to the football. Kick forward there by Central Districts up towards the right half forward area for the Eagles. Through runs Lambert. Here's a chance now for the little fellow there in Swatala to kick forward. Taken by Chambers. Dropped what he might have taken. Pearce couldn't take control of the footy. Back it goes to Chambers. In turn to Steinburner. Steinburner goes up towards left half forward. Here's a chance for Holm and Young also of the Eagles. Pearce back there working hard. Tackle without it. And he'll get a free kick against Jones of Central Districts, Matthew Jones. So Pearce plays on, gives to the experienced Pays. Pays chips into the middle of the ground, looking there for Wiggins on the cricket pitch area. He's looking for someone to give it off to. Finds Murray. Murray kicks forward, not very far, up towards that half forward area. But the mark taken there by Daniel. Now Daniel with the footy, gives off towards Saywell. Saywell kicks towards the right half-back position, taken there by Stevens. Paid the mark. Plyon says the umpire, in fact, as he swings around under the left boot. Nearly tackled there by Kluzak. He's running around. How far can he run? He's got it though. Gets the kick up towards half forward. Here's a chance for Spear. Over the back came the Central's forward player there. I think it was the fellow there in Hicks. The ball comes to ground. Taken by Higgins. Gave it to Pearce, who's been in everything. Mopped up by Spear. Over towards Devine. Devine chips towards the centre wing and it's taken by Filippo. Now Filippo in front of the West End sign. Gets onto the left foot. Kicks up towards half forward left. Up there looking for little McClure. The ball comes to ground. Working no hard is Hereda. Hereda runs through. Tackled by McClure. The ball goes over towards Jones. Overrunning it was McClure once again. Here's a chance for Sheldrick, but it's Saywell for the Central side, mopping up inside his own 50, and he chips wide out to Scotty Lee.
Yes, and Scotty Lee now will go to the lead of Steinburner at centre wing on the outer side of the ground. The ball seesawing between the two half-forward lines as Steinburner goes along that outer side, pumped the weight over at the last minute. In fact, it's still in play. And there's the Spear handballing straight over the boundary line. I wouldn't be a surprise if he gets a free kick against him here.
That was one of the, that was classic issue.
Gee whiz, that was...
silly play.
It really was, and it's given the opportunity to the Doggies to go into attack here from the boot of Hicks, I think it was, up inside the 50. Players converge on the footy. The ball's underneath a Packer player, and the umpire will move in and bounce the ball inside 50 for the Doggies. They lead on the Sip and Save scoreboard, 10-12-72. The Eagles 7-13-55. Umpire with the football. The goal here has been put.
Boundary line's not always your best friend, Steve. That's the old saying in football.
The umpire throws it up again. Obviously got a sore arm as the ball is grabbed by the players. They go over the top of the footy once again. And we'll have another, well, we've got to say a ball up. It is a ball up, in fact. The umpire's been throwing it up down that area. Too sure why. He's throwing it up again. Gives the indication he's going to throw it up into the air, away it goes, and big men up they go. The tap by Hicks is a left-handed tap towards the pocket, trying to pick up the ball is Saywell, but it goes over the boundary line right alongside the Blackwell funeral sign, if you don't mind, umpire. So which one of these sides will... no, we could not say that.
Someone's dying to get there.
The boundary umpire's about to throw it in once again. It's in the Doggies attacking area. Up they go. Taken out of the air by Saywell. The handball is good. Here's a chance for the Doggies. Steinburner, I think it is. He comes onto the right foot. Goes bang! I think he's put it through for a sausage roll. We'll wait on the goal umpire. He has. He's drilled it. So the Doggies 11 goals, 12-78 on the Sip and Save scoreboard. Lead the Eagles 7-13-55.
Well, not what the Eagles people wanted to see there, Ditto. I mean, he broke about 3 or 4 tackles there, and I don't think Bruce Wynn will be happy at all with the way he just broke tackles.
Bruce will not be happy at all with that, and as soon as he got that ball, he was always going to kick the goal. He was going to take a few with him. He was going to they were hanging off him. He was just going to take them with him and kick the goal.
Like a Sherman tank, and he runs hard at the ball.
Ball back in the centre of the Woodville Oval. Wiggins in ruck. Up against Conway, who's getting some hand-on ball in this final quarter. Here comes the bounce down. It favours Conway slightly, and then he knocks it to the back of his left hand towards McGowan. McGowan gets a hand pass, nearly intercepted there by Sheldrick. Lee gets a hand pass over towards his teammate there. The kick comes forward, up towards half forward left. Over the top coming is Young, spoils the ball nicely. He's got a chance to pick up, gives it back towards Spear. Spear in turn to Young, he's under pressure from Jones, tackled high and will take a free kick. Gives the handball over to the skipper Rogers. Now Rogers doesn't look to go direct with the kick, gives a handball inboard to Lambert. Lambert chips up towards half forward right, looking up there for Sheldrick. He brings the ball to ground, mopped up there by Herrera. Herrera inboard finds Lee. Lee chips up towards McGowan, who marks in front of Colville. The 223s doing battle there. Now McGowan with the footy, taking his time in the shadows of the Percy Fox grandstand. On the left half-back position, he'll chip forward, looking for Stevens, who does well in front of Murray. Now Stevens chips way across goal, finds his teammate out there. That's the young man there, it's Swatala. He gets the ball in turn over to Steinburner, who's all on his own on the outer side. Now Steinburner, who kicked the last goal, chips up towards the forward zone. Here's a chance now for Central Districts in Cotton. The handball comes clear, mopped up by Chambers. Chambers back to Cotton. The kick forward finds Jones, doesn't know, it's taken by Sale. It barely went 10 metres. The kick forward again by Steinburner is long and strong back towards the goal line. And the mark taken in the goal square by Daniel, is it? He's tackled by the Eagles, gets his kick forward, and that could be the sealer for Central District. A goal to Daniel, and the Doggies have kicked their 12th goal of the afternoon. They move along to 12 goals, 12.84. And the Eagles 7-13-55. Those scores brought to you by Sip and Save. 11 minutes played on the West End time clock in this final quarter.
Yeah, they switched play there, Steve, and they opened up that loose man and took it into the forward line, and Daniel finished off, and that could be the sealer.
It could be they nail.
But the Eagles, I don't think the Eagles will lie down.
Here comes the bounce down. Conway was nearly too late to take that knock. Eventually got there as it was won by Wiggins down to Murray. He charging in from the wing up towards the forward zone. Kluzak put one hand up. He's back over the footy now. Here's Filippo. Tries to get a hand pass over towards Murray. Murray can do something good here. He can't on this occasion. Disappointing result. Kicks are behind. So the Eagles, since quarter time, have kicked 4 goals, 11. They move along to 7-14-56. Central Districts 12-12-84.
That play really did sum up the day there, DB.
Certainly did, and well, he really wasn't under all that much pressure, and the kick away to the right-hand side, and
he did it very well, backed up his own play, and then
let himself down as the kick is out towards the half-back flank, and Stevens has got the ball for the Doggies. On that outer side half-back flank, goes high with a left footer up towards the centre wing position. Hicks almost marked the ball off, hands to Saywell, showing a bit of pace, has a bounce, lucky to get away with that because there was a player right on his hammer and tack, then gets the kick up towards the full forward area. Here's another goal coming up. Cotton's got the footy, he won't miss, and pops it through for a sausage roll. If there's any doubt that this game was all over, that's just sealed it, I'd say. He can shut the gate, Arnie Cape. The Bulldog has bolted as Cotton kicked his third. The 13th to the Doggies. 13 goals, 12.90 on the tip and save scoreboard. The Eagles 7 goals, 14.56.
Well, this is different today. At one end, Murray ran into an open goal, missed it, and Cotton there kicked the goal. And that's, unfortunately for the Eagles, will sound the end.
And that's been the signs for all day, really. They've missed the easy ones up front, the opportunities they had, and Centrals have made them pay dearly.
Ball back in the centre once again. Conway and Wiggins again to do battle in that centre circle. Up goes Wiggins. Gets the knock on that occasion. It's taken by Centrals. Good tackle by McClure. And we'll have a secondary bounce in the centre cricket pitch area of the Woodville Oval as Chambers hands the footy to umpire Inge. So a bounce down will occur just on the southern side of the centre in circle.
The engines.
In the engine room as Murray and Stevens just a bit of a pushing and shoving match as the ball bounced. Up it goes. And it's won by Conway. Slips through the hands of Lambert. In there working hard is Murray trying to get a kick forward. It comes out to Stevens. His little toe poke doesn't go very far. Taken by McClure. Back it goes by hand towards Spear. Up towards half forward. Pays working hard there. Neither player touching the ball. Neither he nor Steinburner. Here's a chance for Geister. Geister under all sorts of pressure. Kicks across ground. He's got young Swatala to kick to out here on this grandstand side. He chips further afield. Up there looking for his teammate and home. The ball comes to ground. Here's a chance for him. He's up against Rogers. Rogers nearly got the footy but beaten there as it was knocked forward by Holm. Back it goes towards Holm again on that occasion. And a free kick off the ball will go to Central Districts. And I think it's Hicks that will take it for hanging on. So Hicks plays on, and Central's players all free all over the ground as Chambers with the footy now. Goes for home, kicks towards goal, and he's put it through. So the Eagles, their work rate's just dropped off in the last 4 or 5 minutes. And Centrals have kicked 3 or 4 goals as Chambers kicks his second goal of the afternoon. And the Doggies move along to 14-12-96, 40-point leaders over the Eagles, 7-14-56. Those scores brought to you by Sip and Save. 14 minutes played on the West End time clock. And a reminder, of course, after the football at around about 5 o'clock, we'll hear from Peter Greco and LeisureLink.
Yes, and it really is all over now. The Eagles have had their wings clipped and the butchers left the front door of the shop open and the doggies are bowling. The ball's back in the centre.
There's no meat left.
There won't be after this game. Down goes the bounce. Up they fly. Big Conway was in here, got the tap. Ball ends up here with Wiggins. Got a one-handed hit away. Not a bad effort as it comes to Higgins. Higgins goes up towards half forward. This is where they've been falling down. The ball is almost met there by Geister. The ball comes to Sheldrick. He puts the ball in front of him. The umpire says holding the ball, the first one we've had today, as the ball comes out here towards Cotter. Cotter along centre wing on the grandstand side. Jones was there. Also with him was Spear. Ends up with Rogers. Rogers goes in short to Filippo. Filippo all by himself will go up towards the lead here of Kluzak, right into the pocket. In fact, Kluzak should mark this. He's in the van and does so. And Kluzak will have a shot for goal about 40 metres out, only on a slight angle to try and record the Eagles' first goal of the quarter. If you've just turned in on the Sip and Save scoreboard, the Doggies have kicked 4 goals without a reply in this final quarter to lead 14-12-96. The Eagles 7-14-56 as away goes Kluzak towards goal to the right-hand side. And as you heard the boys say earlier, that's been the story this afternoon. The Eagles have had plenty of opportunities, but their kicking for goal has let them down badly. 7 goals, 15-57. They trailed the Doggies 14 goals, 15-56. 14 goals, 16. No, 14 goals, 12-96.
Once again, DB, it was a good passage of play to get the ball up there, and they've just missed another easy shot for goal, really.
Out there it goes towards that half-back flank. Herrera's doing battle there with Pay, and the ball forced over the boundary line and through, well, in fact, out of bounds for a boundary throwing.
So we've played 16 minutes in this final quarter, and it's 39 points the difference. Central's doing well. They've kicked 4 goals in this term. The Eagles haven't kicked 1 as the ball thrown back into play. It comes towards Sheldrick. Gives it off towards Page, right on that 50-metre line. He kicks long up there looking for Ugrinik. Up goes Lee and takes a beautiful mark in the goal square.
So he's stripped exceptionally well today, Scotty Lee.
He certainly has. As the kick from Lee.
Here's the other good player.
Beautiful kick taken by McGowan. He goes inboard. Looking there for the little fellow there in Swatala, but his kick finds Murray of Woodville West Torrens. Now Murray goes in towards the attacking 50. It's 3-on-1 as up goes Kluzak. Nearly took a spectacular mark. The ball comes to ground. Mopped up by Steinberger, who handballed it into the head of Conway. Taken by McClure. He drops the footy. He's got it back again. Gives it backwards towards Colville. He's not sure what to do. Kicks for goal from a standing start. It goes off towards the left. Lee there mopping up. Also down there's Ugrinik, who keeps the ball back in play. No, he doesn't. And there'll be a boundary throw in right up against the behind post. So since quarter time, the Eagles have kicked 4 goals, 12. And Central Districts have kicked 8 goals, 7. So 16 shots to 15 since quarter time. But the Central side finishing off the better as Chambers runs out of defence from that boundary throw and kicks up towards the centre wing, and the mark taken out there by Saywell. So James Saywell kicks towards half forward right, up there looking for Hicks, and Rogers in front takes a nice mark. So good play there from the skipper. He's done okay this afternoon. He gives it off towards Pays. Pays chips further afield up there looking for, I think it might have been Spear. The ball comes to ground, taken by Lambert. He gives it off to Wiggins. Wiggins runs around Conway. Kicks on the right foot up towards the forward zone. Up there looking for Kluzak and Ugrinik. The ball comes to ground. It'll be mopped up by Schwert. Schwert now gets a right foot kick over towards the boundary line. And it smacks into the Living Health sign. Over the boundary line, out of play. So Central's 96. Leading the Eagles 57. 18 minutes played in this final quarter. Things winding down here at the Woodville Oval. The Centrals are home, and we'll keep that 3rd spot as Wiggins gets the tap down to Higgins. He's tried all afternoon, gave it off to McClure. McClure chips further afield, up there looking for Kluzak. Goes through his hands. The ball comes towards Schwert of Central Districts. He taps the ball towards the boundary line. Here's a chance now for Murray. The kick forward came from Swatala. Here's a chance now for Stevens, who's played well. He's got the footy, has a bounce down this grandstand side, gets onto the left foot, kicks into the centre of the ground looking for Hicks, and also Lambert there for the Eagles. And there's a free kick, oh dear, I don't know what that was for, off the ball to Hicks of Central Districts. Now he has 2 players down there on the left, and Girdham is one of those for one of his rare touches. Gives off towards Stevens. Stevens goes further afield. The mark nearly taken there by Cotton. The ball in the right forward, or the left forward pocket. Pearce in there battling away as normal. And the pack forms, and we'll have a bounce down. Left forward pocket, northern end. It's Central Districts 96, leading the Eagles 57. Here's Dennis Brown.
As the Central District runner goes out, Skeeter Townsend. Hasn't done a lot of running this afternoon, hasn't had to. The doggies have been in front for most of the game. As the ball is in the forward pocket, the umpire about to bounce it down, thumps it into the turf. Rogers and Hicks, the ball comes to ground. Oh, kicked off the ground, almost off the ground by Jones. In fact, it's gone out, touched, said the umpire, so it's not out on the full. And we'll have a throw in alongside the boundary line, or boundary post, in that left full forward pocket for the doggies. Almost into time on the West End time clock. And the doggies lead by 39 points. The umpire about to throw the ball back in. Hicks versus Rogers. Use of the body by Rogers, but the ball eluded both players. Here's a chance for the doggies, but the ball comes out. Here's an opportunity now to picked up by Higgins, I think it was. Kicked it into the centre. Found Wiggins. Wiggins went out wide looking for Page. Page will go over the top, and he finds the player out there in Murray. Murray goes onto the boot. He's looking down here for the forward pocket for Ugrinnick. It goes over the top. Ugrinnick with his pace. Can he get away? He can. What's he going to do? He's going to have a shot in towards goal. The goal umpire says it has gone through for a
goal.
Sausage roll. So the first goal of the quarter to the Eagles, 8-15-63. But of course they trail badly on the sip and save scoreboard. The doggies are leading 14 goals, 12-96 back to the studio.
Yes, it's third, 10-6-66, leading North Adelaide, 8-13-61. And Port, 10-12-72, leading Norwood, 8-8-56. Back to Woodville.
Leaders in the SANFL, Sturt over North, Port Adelaide over Norwood. So, what's wrong with you, Steve?
I picked the other two, and Steve E's bloody wrapping me up because he picked both of them.
Yeah, but you picked the Eagles here, mate. You're in trouble.
Yeah, well, it's 3 games. Okay, I'll pick 3 losers.
Yeah, that sums you up. Anyhow, not over 3. It doesn't matter. Ball back in the centre of the ground with umpire Inge. And it'll be Wiggins in ruck for the Eagles up against Conway. One on that occasion by the aforementioned Conway. The ball came down towards McGowan. Attempted kick forward by Saywell. Jones eventually gets foot the ball, and Pearce will mark.
Tried hard all day, Adam Pearce.
Yes, he certainly has. He'd be up there in the best 2 or 3 players for the Eagles this afternoon. He chips forward, finds Lambert, gives off to Higgins. Higgins, who has had plenty of the footy, hasn't always found his teammates with his disposal. And on that occasion, it was kicked to Steinburner on the centre wing. Now he kicks towards the centre of the ground. Up there taking the mark is Girdham. Girdham gave off to Jones. Jones to Saywell, who marks. Now Saywell handballs in turn to Swatala. The young man on debut for Central Districts kicks towards goal, and he's kicked a goal. Beautiful play there by Centrals. Not very close checking by the Eagles. And the doggies have raised the century on the board. They move to 15-12-102. The Eagles 8-15-63. The margin back out to 39 points.
What will disappoint Bruce Winder, Dedo, is that they really have capitulated here in the last 10 minutes after giving a very, very, very good account of themselves right up until that last 10 minutes. Yeah,
well, as the game winds down to a close, Steve, Centrals are just doing it as they like now. They just lift up they're finishing on full of running, and well, that's what a good side can do when they get a side down.
I'll tell you what, I'm impressed with this young man, Swatali. I like the way he moves. He's a wonderful mover. I think you might hear a lot more of this young man as the ball comes out towards centre wing. The handball comes back in towards the big chappie there in Conway. The ball's held to him, and we'll have a bounce down in the centre.
Haven't seen much of Rintoul in this quarter, fellas.
No, unfortunately, he's gone even a miss. He was brilliant in the third quarter.
He just had a couple of touches early, and that's been the end of the penny section. Down goes the bounce. Wiggins got the tap away, came down to Saywell. Saywell, who hadn't been the doggies' worst player, gets the kick out towards centre wing. Scotty Lee, he's certainly been one of their best. Gets the ball away. In there is Girdham fighting hard for the ball. Throws the ball out towards the centre wing on the outside. Scotty Lee there again, trying to pick it up. Can't do so. The ball underneath a pack of players, and the umpire will move in and bounce the ball. So something going on in there. Players rushing in to adjudicate on proceedings. But nothing too serious. You've got the specs on there, Laurie.
No real excitement there, DB. I think the boys are getting a bit tired. A bit too tired to throw any haymakers or anything.
Just a few pleasantries exchanged. There's good news at this hour of the day as the ball comes to Lambert. Tries to kick the ball around the body. Does so. Murray, he overruns the footy. Stevens was there. Also, Scotty Lee picked it up beautifully. Then had time to raise the eyes and kick it towards the lead there of McGowan, but he couldn't mark the ball. Kicked off the ground by Lambert. Stevens goes in hard. Also, the player there hung on to. Got to get a free kick. And that player will be the Rintoul, the man we just mentioned a moment ago, has got this kick, and he'll kick out a long way outside 50. In fact, he's just on the edge of the square. There's the drop punt in towards full forward. Kluzak at the back pushed his opponent forward. Here's a chance for you. Griddick runs into the open goal and goes bang through for his second goal. And the Eagles' 9-15. There it is again. That yours and mine, number 69. Central District 15 goals, 12-102.
Well, is it yours or is it mine, DB?
It's yours, son. Say something.
Bit of both. Well, unfortunately, a little bit too late there. And Adam Ugrinnick has shown a little bit better in the second half, up forward. He's a very quick player, and he kicked a nice goal there, but unfortunately, all too late.
Yeah, I suppose everyone just adds that little bit of touch of respectability to the score, but she's all too late, yeah.
33 points the difference here at Woodville Oval. Closing stages of this match. The ball back in the centre of the ground. Higgins now with the footy, looking to give off to someone. Eventually gets a kick forward, up towards half forward right. Has Rintoul there once again. He'll play on quickly, under pressure from Daniel. The kick forward up there, looking for you. Ugrinnick, who marks in the right forward pocket.
Oh, I think he was
and
right.
I reckon he was too, DB, although you had that pole in front of you. So it's probably pretty hard for you to tell, but he did look like he was away. And he'll have a shot on goal, or what will he do? Will he try and centre it? Filippo.
Check side, he'll go for it.
Go for the old.
London do a brick on it.
Okay, here we go. We'll have a look. The kick on its way. You picked the check side, but I don't think it's a successful check side. Let's have a look. No, through from behind. So the Eagles 9-16, what's that? 9-16-70, and trailing Centrals 15-12, 102. Footy today brought to you by Sip and Save, West End and Cowleys, as Ugrinnick 2 goals won this afternoon, all in this final quarter. Now the ball brought back into play. Girdham's out here, and he takes the mark in front of Pearce, and Pearce certainly doing a good job on that experienced player this afternoon. The kick forward from Girdham into the spaces of centre half back, taken there by Stevens. Diving mark, catches Wiggins off guard, who decided he had to chase him at the last moment, but it's taken by Rintoul, who's having a little purple patch here in the last 90 seconds or so. Kicks up forward, didn't really look, and the mark taken there deep in defence by Scotty Lee. Now Lee with the footy, comes to grandstand side once again, finds Saywell of Central Districts in front of Higgins. Inside their own 50 still, the Doggies. The kick forward up there looking for Girdham, who marks in front of Colville. He gives off to the young man there, Swatala. Swatala inboard, finds Stevens. Stevens now with a left foot kick, chips up towards half forward, looking there for Holm. Nice pick up on the bounce by Daniel Holm. He chips further forward, up towards Hicks area. Over there is Rogers, gave him a shove in the back, taken by Steinburner, taken there by Daniel. The kick forward by Daniel looks good off the boot as it off to the left. It hits the post, top of the left goal post. And umpire Steve Jackwea signals are behind. And what have we got here? A blood rule. Just what we need at the end of a cold July afternoon, as another 2 minutes break for the blood rule. But another behind to the Doggies. They move to 103, the Eagles 70.
That's it. Condy's way out of that. He's staying on.
Yes, he said he had a hamburger at half-time with a little bit of sauce left there, and the umpire goes back into the centre.
Bit of dead horse.
And Saywell drifts down into the forward area. Oh, the kick-off by Hall. He went looking for Page, and you wouldn't want to know what he's done. He's put it straight down the throat of, I think it's Craig Cotter. Cotton, is it? Cotter. Fair dinkum.
It's all confusing, isn't it?
And Cotton's going to try and pot it from about 20 metres out.
They'll be calling it a cotton pit and kick.
It's a kick, and he put it straight through the high devil diddle. That's about his fourth, I reckon. It is.
a rotten kick.
Four goals, so pretty good effort by Jared Cotton, as the Bulldogs move along to 16 goals, 13, 109 on the Sip and Save scoreboard. The Eagles 9-16-70, back to the studio.
Port Adelaide 11-14-80, leading Norwood 8-8-56. And North Adelaide 9-14-68, leading Sturt 10-7-67. Back to Woodville.
Well, North Adelaide back in front. Steve Jackwea might actually get a winner this afternoon as the ball back in the centre of Woodville Oval. Closing stages of this game. We've played 28 minutes on the West End time clock as Conway and Ruck up against Wiggins on this occasion. Neither Ruckman really won that. It came down towards Saywell of Central.
Well.
He has indeed, as he kicks up towards half forward, and under contested there McGowan, who's played very well also, takes the mark, chips further afield, looking for the forward zone. Fisted away by Spear from Cotton. The kick forward off the ground by Cotton. Does it take a leg break? No, it doesn't. Goes through from behind. That was the toppy. And well signalled there by Brownie. 4 goals to Jared Cotton. And Central Districts move along to 16 goals, 14, 110. 40-point leaders on the Sip and Save scoreboard. The Eagles 9-16-70. So we've got the zone defence happening here as the kick from Hall off the side of the boot. Will he just keep it in play? Colville, he does. Just takes the mark inside the boundary line, just below the shadows of the Percy Fox grandstand. Now Colville with the footy. Gets that onto the boot on this occasion. Kicks up towards this grandstand side. 2 to beat has Sheldrick. The ball fisted away by Geister over the boundary line and out of play. So North Adelaide may steal a victory over Sturt. Port Adelaide look pretty well safe at Alberton over Nord. Nord, who record their second loss of 1997 as Wiggins in ruck won that one. Came down to Daniel of Central Districts. Well tackled by Higgins. Girdham gives off towards Lee now. Lee streams through the centre half-forward area. Kicks inside the attacking 50. Smashed away there by Hall from Cotton. The ball comes towards Murray. In fact, it's Pearce. Pearce chips towards that outer side. Looking for Spear. The ball doesn't sit quite nicely for him as it's taken by Jones. He's tackled by Spear. Taken there by Cotter. In fact, it was Potter. Who cares anyhow? It's Pearce has got it. Gives it off to McClure. McClure has a bounce through the midfield. Gives off to Spear. Spear's got Murray further afield, but he elects to go long. And Chambers in the front position nearly takes the mark. But the ball comes to ground. Taken by Kluzak. Chambers there with him for Central Districts. And we'll have a boundary thrown in the left forward pocket, southern end. What's wrong, Steve?
Jason Spear, every time he gets the ball, Ditto, kicks the ball long. He never ever kicks short. His peripheral vision is absolutely disgraceful.
Well, you're going to have a beer with him in a minute, so go up and tell him in that...
Yeah, but he's a good mate of mine. He had a short player on there. They've got to use the ball.
I saw it
I
too.
don't like you when you get this upset, Stephen.
Very upset. And we've had a boundary thrown. A free kick will go to, I think, Filippo.
Nobody got a clue what's happening out there.
There goes the siren anyhow, so it's the end of the game. But we'll just wait on, yes, it will be Filippo to have a shot on goal. So he can, at best, reduce the margin to 34 points.
Not Filippo.
Who's got it?
I don't know, but definitely not
it's
Filippo.
Wiggins.
Wiggins, yeah.
He must have given it to him. Anyhow, the kick from Wiggins. It's high. It's through for a behind. No, it's out in the full, so that just about sums up the day for Woodville West Torrens. So final scores down here at Woodville Oval. It's an easy victory in the end for Central Districts by 40 points. 16 goals, 14, 110 to Woodville West Torrens, 9, 16, 70. We'll come back for the goal kickers and better players, and also the 3-2-1 for the 5 RPH Football of the Year in just a few moments.
What's that noise? Is it your tummy rumbling? Didn't have much to eat?